Headphones on. What is going on, guys? Ladies and gentlemen, what is happening? You know how pissed off I am? You know how mad I am that I have everything ready and then I go to the buy me a coffee page and it's like, oh, we got to send a link to your, we got to send a link really quick. Just really quick, make sure it's you. It's like, you haven't done that in 4 months. What are you doing? Just today, as I'm about to hit it live on time. Absolutely ridiculous. Annoyed. You know those little things that annoy you. It's nothing, but it's still like, come on, are you serious? Anyway, let's jump in. Buymeacoffee.com/Coach Colin. That is a way to support. We will throw that into the chat right now for anybody. It'll be the pinned thing. It is always in the description, as well as many other things. Spotify link, all that good stuff. You can clip channel. You can always find it inside of. You can always find it inside the description, always, every single time, no matter what. So there it is. Let's drop that in there and pin that bad boy. Let's make sure, boom, it's pinned. Guys, good morning. What's going on for everybody? What is going on, everybody? It is a good time. Some people are saying they need humor. Why? What's going on? Why? Did anything happen over the weekend? You guys say you need humor? Oh, yeah. Whoop, whoop. There it is. That's how pissed off I was. I was like, what do you mean a link to my thing? And I'm looking for the link and I got to wait for it now. Anyways, guys, let's just jump right in. I don't know what everybody's so upset about. There's nothing to be upset about today, guys. What are we talking about here? There's nothing to be upset about today, guys. What are you guys talking about? We start our mornings off fresh. We start our mornings off fresh like a daisy. And I don't mean the greatest researcher in America either. I know that's not what I'm talking about. I mean like a nice daisy. I mean like a nice man wearing a nice pink blouse. That's how we start the day. We start the day flamboyant, ladies and gentlemen. Are you kidding me? Come on, guys. Jeez. We don't... So we're going to be talking about some different stuff today. It's so silly. I don't know who made this. This lady sent it to me. I saw somebody else post it as well. I don't know what's going on here. We're going to be talking about a bunch of stuff. Candace went to Russia. We'll be talking about that a little bit. That's actually an interesting development because she had an epiphany. If you're not on X, you probably didn't see it, but she had a little bit of an epiphany while visiting Russia. She's going to talk about it more when she's back. She will not be on this week, if you didn't know. And we're also going to talk about the back and forth that she and Blake had, because that back and forth got fiery. A lot of different people got involved. Your humble host, Mr. Granddad Coleman, got involved. Daisy got involved. I mean, a bunch of people got involved. James Lee even got involved. I mean, a bunch of people got involved. And then we're also going to talk about the Russia, the Blake versus Candace. Little bit of I should actually, because I was listening to Baron Coleman's podcast. I was listening to it today in the morning, and I was like, oh, this is pretty crazy what he was talking about. He gets into Blake a little bit too. He gets into the psyche of Blake, and I couldn't agree more. Then we're going to get into Gary from Paramount Tactical, or as Elizabeth Lane has been calling him, Gary Small Testy. I'm not going to say the word. She's been calling him all sorts of stuff. I mean, there's been a fiery back and forth, and it has to do with Candace going to Russia, of course. Patrick Bet-David got bought out. What are you talking about? Oh my gosh. Anyway, and that's probably why Blake is dressed like this. He's probably celebrating. That makes sense now. Before it didn't make sense. I was like, why is he wearing this dress? Now it kind of makes sense. You're saying they got bought out. Okay. All right. That makes sense. I mean, how great it is to be with you guys right now as I hear my kid screaming. Oh, I left just in time. I left just in time. Oh, thank you guys for saving me. Oh, I got to go to work, honey. I'm so sorry. I got to get going. The kid's just screaming for no reason. Probably just wants a thing. Just like, kids, they're just like, I just want to poke myself. Can I have the scissors there? I just want to jab him. I just want to jab it into my arm. No, I can't. Okay, well, I'm going to scream. That's how that goes. Let's get into. I just want to pull up Baron stuff. I guess I can pull it up as we go, but Baron stuff was actually very interesting, very very interesting to me. Uh, the way he breaks, the way he breaks down what is going on with Blake. I just want to make sure I have it. Man, the way my kids, I always just think back to what my mom would do. I mean, how my mom would just elbow me so hard if I screamed the way my kid screams. You know what I mean? You guys know what I'm talking about? 90s babies, 80s babies. You know what I'm talking about? How my mom would just give me the people's elbow from the top rope if I screamed like my kid's screaming right now. I mean, I'd be knocked out. I'd be knocked out for days. Anyway, uh you ever think of that sometimes? We're some damn good parents in the 20s and 2000s. We're some damn good parents out here. Like what? My mom would take my bicycle and drop it on my head if I did that. Uh let's jump in though. I don't want to give anybody any like kind of flashbacks of what they've gone through as a kid. So let's move away from that. But let's jump right into what happened with Candace and Blake. Let's jump right in. Someone said we are amazing. Yeah, right? Right? You kidding me? Oh my gosh. And there was no technology or anything. I mean, there was a TV to put us in front of, but I mean, what my mom would do, she'd pick me up and throw me. Have I ever told you the story when she caught me smoking? Oh, I should tell you the story when she caught me smoking. Oh, oh man, she caught me smoking. Listen, she caught me smoking when I was like 12. I think I was 12. And I had this crazy idea. I mean, 12-year-olds are so dumb. I had this crazy idea. I'm like, we're gonna hotbox my room because a bunch of my friends like had like joints, big joints. I'm like, we're gonna hotbox my room and it's gonna be fine because I'm gonna put a towel in the door. Now we live in like subsidized housing, right? Government subsidized housing. These doors are basically cardboard. The walls are just nothing. You could probably put your fist through it if you really wanted to. And I just thought it would be a great idea to just light up 3 joints at the same time and hotbox the room. So we do that, and we're 5 minutes in because, of course, and my mom breaks the door down because she's a bodybuilder at the time. So she's able to just push it and she could just break it. So she breaks it and she finds me. My friends scatter. She is on top of me. She drags me to her room, throws me on her bed, and punches me in the face at least 8 times. At least I can hear my friends running. I'm like, oh my gosh. And then I am blitzed. I am just blitzed. And because we didn't have a washer or dryer or whatever, you got to go to the laundromat, right? She takes me to the laundromat. So I'm sitting in the car, freshly battered around, and I'm just high as all get out. I mean, I'm just like, I'm out there. And then she just makes me do laundry. That's it. We didn't say a word about it after. There was no scolding on the way there. It's just complete silence, which is even scarier. Uh, and then I just had to do laundry. And then I was so gone that I had to like go sit outside while the laundry was happening. And that was it. It was crazy. It was nuts. But I never did it again. That's the lesson of that story. I never did it again. Oh my gosh. Anyway, we got sidetracked there, guys. Sorry. We got sidetracked there for a second. But yeah, that's what I thought was a good idea when I was a kid. Everybody has their thing, but that was just a ridiculous occurrence. So fun times. Love you, Mom, if you're watching. Good job. I didn't stop smoking, but I definitely stopped smoking in the house. Kind of. She can't get me now. It's fine. I'm far away. But let's jump right in. So Candace sees this letter. Now let me read this letter to you guys. Okay. Let me just read this. So this is from Erica Kirk. Now, this is what would be sent. This is what would be sent to you if you were on their mailing list type of thing. I believe that's what this is. So this is Erica Kirk saying, what I wouldn't give for one more love letter from Charlie, one more handwritten note left bedside beside my morning coffee before he rushed out the door, one more folded piece of paper on my pillow before he had an early flight, one more moment where he intentionally set aside the noise of the world just to remind me I was loved. About this time last year, Charlie and I sat together on stage at the Women's Leadership Summit. That's good. I've been trying to figure out when that was. Women's Leadership Summit, answering questions from young women about marriage, family, faith, raising children, and the kind of future they hope to have one day. And then it goes on. Somewhere during this conversation, I mentioned the notes he would leave for me, he would write for me. They were one of the many quiet ways Charlie loved me. I shared that he would write them whenever he had a moment while honoring the Sabbath. He never missed one. Sometimes they were a few sentences, but they carried such a deep reverence about them. He'd hand me words that felt sacred. I loved every single one of these letters. And then she actually shows the letter, right? She shows this letter. There it is. Right. She says, Charlie knew how much I loved them, et cetera, et cetera. So this was what Candace had to say when she saw this. Because again, this is being blasted to people via email. Okay. It's kind of like if I had a newsletter, I'd be like, hey, Candace has a newsletter. Hey, this is what's going on, blah, blah, blah. This is what you would get from Turning Point. And sharing private letters from your dead husband. Let me zoom in on this. Why aren't we zoomed in like we usually are? Let's zoom it in a little bit for everybody. Sharing private letters from your dead husband for the express purpose of fundraising is as tasteless as it is classless, and I am without patience for those pretending otherwise. There is nothing beautiful about this. It is shameless emotional manipulation for money, made worse by the fact that these emails are not even authored by her. And that is true. Somebody just puts these together. And in today's world, maybe even AI, maybe someone just directing an AI to do these things. So Candace was pissed off about this. And obviously, the first person who jumps in is Blake Neff. Okay. I can't wait. I mean, I don't know if you guys have seen what Barron had to say about Blake, but it was like, if you can remember just like a few months ago, the way he would talk about them, he wouldn't talk about them nicely, but he was like trying to be like charitable, and that's gone now. He's like, I'm done. He's like, I have 8 kids. I know a bad seed when I see one. Okay. My kids have had a lot of friends. I know someone developing into a terrible man when I see them, Blake Neff, nobody profited more off Charlie's death than you have, Candace, and you share plenty of Charlie's private communications with you. But there are a few very important differences. You're not his wife. You were not his wife. That's number one. Your messages tend to be from half a decade ago or more. I wonder why. That's actually not true. She shared one from 2023. Which shows that they have been in. And the other ones that she showed that weren't from 2023 were in reference to what Charlie had to say about him passing away young. So, obviously she's going to show that, she's not going to show the most recent ones. Not yet. I feel like we're going to see those in some time. And then 3, and I mean, the way he's breaking this down, you can't tell me this guy's not zesty. You can't tell me. The way I watch all sorts of comedy, especially when you're in the comedy world, you run into people of all types and a lot of people of that persuasion as well, and you see how they act, you see how they handle beef, you see how they handle drama, you see how they handle confrontation. You can't tell me that as this guy's doing this, he's not going and 1 and point 2 and point 3, there's no way he's not doing that. Of course he is. Anyway, for those of you that are old enough, you remember in Living Color, Damon Wayans and that other guy, they would be like 2 snaps and around the world. They would do all sorts of wild things like that. He's one of those guys. You love referring to dates he went on and women he knew prior to Erica. There's very clearly no reason to do this except trying to humiliate Erica. And you were doing even before you started accusing her of helping Charlie pass away. You do all of this to profit yourself. Yeah, Turning Point needs to raise money. But Barron had a very good point about that. He's like, no, they don't. He's like, that's a thing that they don't have to do. They go to the donors and they say, hey, we're putting in our efforts. Thanks for this money. It goes towards that. And that's it. They actually don't have to raise money like time and time again, especially when Charlie declared that they were like they had a revenue of $150 million. Charlie said that in that last interview that I showed you, that people are speculating they pulled his audio from when he's appointing Erica. He said that in that interview, that they had a revenue of that much. It does. I would believe Charlie. It does that because it actually does things. It puts multiple conferences on a year. It organizes campus events. Well, I mean, we're starting to see that the campuses, not all the chapters are real. We're starting to kind of see that allegedly. I mean, a lot of people are figuring that out now. It's not just that Z character, that Z Cohen Sanchez or Sanchez Cohen. It's not just her anymore that's doing it. There's actually somebody else. I think it's Jay. I think he's starting to find chapters as well that are fake. I think he might even made one. It organizes campus events and faith events. Turning Point Action employs literally hundreds of people for ballot chasing efforts in swing states. You've never done anything remotely comparable. She used to actually do that with Charlie, and you couldn't because you have neither the talent nor the selflessness to do it. I mean, I'm not going to get into it, but it's like, you really got to think about what he's saying. Like, the selflessness, it's like you're trying to get somebody in office, and, you know, you could stand there and say it's a very valiant thing to do. It's a very noble thing to do, but you're trying to get a politician who's probably sleazy and corrupt into a position of power. It's not all that it's cracked up to be in actuality when you do this type of stuff. Ask Tucker Carlson. I mean, he regrets everything he's done, as does Candace. All you have is the narcissism to think what Charlie built should have been handed over to you for free. So that's what Blake had to say, and everybody started jumping in. I mean, you got Leah Files here who jumped in. Nobody has profited more of Charlie's death than Erica Kirk, Andrew Colvette, Tyler Boyer. Fixed it for you. Don't you worry your little bald head. Man, the type of insults I would receive if I wasn't wearing this hat. Good God, guys. Come on. We're not all like this. All of us bald people. Receipts are coming this weekend. Just because you aren't the one profiting doesn't mean your colleagues aren't raking it in. Damn, you're stupid. Oh, jeez. You know, people really started getting at Blake, you know. Wait, you're saying Candace made more money than all the merch you sold at his memorial? Were they selling merch at the memorial? No way. Were they doing that? No way. Actually? Ah, man. All the donations that poured in and more than the GoFundMe set up for Erica. That's true, too. There was a GoFundMe. I do remember that. I remember that very, very clearly. Very, very clearly. They were selling merch. So much merch at the memorial. Wow. That is so weird. That is so weird. Oh my gosh. You know? Blakey, no one investigated more into Charlie's passing than Candace and everyone else who dug in with her in some form. You're afraid to share anything authentic of Charlie's for the same reason others were afraid to keep him alive without full control over messaging. Colvette said at it best, you need to support Iran's war, you know, aka Philadelphia's war, that is, and support the creeping censorship. You were sitting and nodding along when he said it. You're just afraid you won't get voters, people under 65 today, to back your team. You don't believe your lame propaganda, and many never have. You weren't Charlie's wife either, Blakey. That's actually a good point. But you were always someone else's B. Dang. Best of luck. Wow, people really laying into Blake. I didn't even expect this, quite honestly. I wasn't even going to do this. I was just going to go straight to what Candace said, but gosh, people are laying in, man. Candace may not be Charlie's wife, but she is Charlie's David. A lot of people forget that. A lot of people forget those messages. All the people who are, trying to go at Candace, going after Candace, going after Baron now, et cetera, they forget how big those text messages actually were. They act like it was nothing. Like it was just like, he said he'd die early. He said she was the Iron Lady, the missing piece God meant him to find, and she was going to finish the whole thing. Whatever. She had a dream. That's stupid. They just try to really like act like it never happened, but it's clear those messages are there. And nobody wants to actually sit down and actually talk about that. Like nobody. Andrew never addressed it. Blake never addressed it. No one ever addressed it at all. No one ever touched on it because it's just a fact. Charlie's David. Candace is doing exactly what Charlie asked of her. A proposition he made in writing. She seems to be one of the only two, maybe few, fulfilling Charlie's request. Candace uses her platform to reach the people, not for the sole purpose of making money. Meanwhile, you started your profit extravaganza by selling merch at his funeral. Nothing compares to your evil. Wow. M, ladies and gentlemen. M, doing some good work. Are you at thousands of followers yet, M? Oh, you're 1,300. You're getting there. She does good work. Someone else jumps in. Lies. I know. These are like all my friends here. I didn't even expect this. I know you people have done extensive research on Turning Point's finances, down to Charlie's life insurance policies. Candace has not profiteered more than any other person while you're fact checking. Stick to the facts. Wow, so many people just going in, and this is on Blake's post. This is not on Candace's post. This is Blake's post. Just to remind you, this guy's getting eaten up on his own post. This is crazy. Where are his supporters? Does he not have supporters? You were not Charlie's wife either, so stop speaking for her at every chance. Oh, there you go. Blake has no wife. Baron will bring that up in a second. I remember when the right complained about Candace covering the Jason Baldoni case, then complained about Brigitte. Now she's covering something we all saw and have questions and doubts about. And now she can't talk about that. Post that video and maybe things will change, bruh. Who's that? That's Black Beth Dutton. And then, of course, Project Constitution jumps in. Oh, no, Blake. What's wrong? Are you having a bad day because your boss, Erica, is on a warpath since she got exposed by me on TMZ? Jeez. That's the whole boyfriend thing. Allegedly. Then this person, Sword Truth. This is crazy. Well, Erica Kirk made $100 million in Turning Point, $300+ million in profit off of Charlie's passing. So there's that. Let's talk about the security team promotions and increases in Blake and Andrew's personal wealth. Wow. I mean, there's just too many people with just notes. There's too many people with notes. This is his post. It's crazy. Anyway. We'll move on to Candace. We haven't even got to Candace, and this guy already has 90 arrows in him, like an old Western. He's taking a drink at the saloon, and it's all just coming out of him, and he's just like, and then the saloon doors pop open, and it's Candace sitting there, It's Candace ready for a duel. Candace right away. You know how terrifying it would be on your post. You make a post. And then Candace responds, and the first thing you see in big letters is the audacity, and she's in Russia. So you're like, she's in Russia. So she doesn't have time to respond. She's like with her family and she's doing things and she's speaking and this and that. And then all of a sudden you just see the audacity and you're like, oh, come on, man. I thought she was gone. I just got off the call with Mr. Wachuka. Gary was there. Everybody was there. We just got off the call with Mr. Wachuka. He said she was going to Russia and that it was time to attack because she couldn't respond. What happened? And nobody's stepping in to save Blake. Where are all the people who usually step in? Where are all of them? They're just gone. Why aren't they helping Blake? This is nuts. Andrew gets help. Everybody gets help. Gary gets help, right? Britta, all the characters. Why doesn't Blake get any help? Anyway, sorry, Blake. I'd help you if I was a shill, Blake. If I was a shill, I would step in and help you, buddy. I would. Anyway, the audacity. You ghostwrite for Erica part-time. So you're feeling personally attacked. But you are truly out of your mind to ever accuse anyone of making money off Charlie Kirk. You raised over $250 million in Q4 of last year by shamelessly selling every piece of Charlie, inclusive of a recreated tent of his murder scene for selfies. It's such a dark thing. I know I make fun of it. I make light of it. It's so dark. It's so dark. I mean, think of any other scene. Think of any other scene where someone passes away and they recreate it. Could you imagine going to someone's funeral that you knew and God forbid there was a car accident and they like recreated the intersection? I mean, you want to sit inside the car and they had like a little mock-up of the car that the person was in. They're like, you want to sit here? You want to sit here? What? Are you crazy? Here's the vape. You want to hold the vape that they were holding as they were driving? What? I mean, that person would get thrown out. Whoever created that would get thrown out. It'd be a terrible scene. All the family would be so angry. So angry. Anyway, anything you share includes a donation link, and none of it is done in the spirit of trying to figure out who actually took Charlie off the face of this earth. No, that part is of zero interest to you guys for some reason. You callous losers wanted the investigation over since Erica uttered, "I forgive him." That's really true, right? They just wanted Tyler on a quick way out. That's what they were looking for with Tyler. Yeah, they literally were like, just say you forgive him and he will die promptly and we can all just move on. Let's get this going. To the point where she to the point I shouldn't even be laughing. To the point where she actually requested a speedy trial. She literally said in legalese, she said it through prosecution. She said, I would like this to go faster, please. Hey, just so you know, there's been some developments. Joe Kent was blocked from looking into investigation, the foreign ties. Yeah, I would just like, can we just please speed it up? I don't care about that. Speed it up. Hurry up. Candace is gaining ground. Get it done. I'm sure that's part of it, Remarkably, it seems the only item you're unwilling to prostitute to the public is the alleged video of Charlie handing over the reins of the company over to her, meaning Erica, of course, reversing course on every public statement he's ever uttered about women climbing the corporate ladder. Very true. I can't wait to watch that. I gotta remember that. Just so you guys know, the Women's Leadership Summit. So that is where we see Erica, pink dress, Charlie Kirk, and they're having the conversation about getting married and having kids and women. I didn't know that's what it was. I can't wait to rewatch that. That's something that needs to be revisited. Everyone in the world knows what you guys are about. You have all the DC lined up to protect you, and the world sees right through it. From the bottom of my heart, I want you to know something, Blake. You guys will never get away with what you've done to Charlie and his legacy. You will fast learn that money and all of DC's swamps are powerless in a match against truth. Wow. Candace pissed, pissed in the perfect place. What better place to be pissed off than Russia? Place where like nobody smiles, right? Nobody smiles. Everybody's just like, yeah, tell them off. You know, she just did that at a dinner, just casually. Yeah, and everybody in Russia was just like, good for you. You told, you told Sissy man that you're going to come for him. That's good. That's good. Now we have dessert, you know? And then Candace comes again. She says, lastly, I feel like she could have just wrote that, but she's like, no. We're gonna keep going. Look, lastly, look how much. Lastly, you're not his wife. The you're not his wife talking point, in case you haven't figured out, it has completely failed. The fact that it reflects poorly, in fact, it reflects poorly on Erica, dumbass. So you might want to revert your crisis PR teams the following. Revert to your crisis TR teams the following. Yes, Candace Owens, Baron Coleman, and millions of other people around the world are not Charlie's wife. That is precisely why the public is so disturbed, because people who are not his wife, quote unquote, have from the very beginning expressed more interest in determining who took Charlie Kirk out. You guys should dig deep for a talking point that doesn't further shine a spotlight on why the public is so fervently, rejects the performance of his actual wife. Hope this helps, loser. This is crazy. This is nuts. Candace is not playing around, man. Very, very angry. Look, this person, Travis, posted this. Here's some aloe vera for that burn, Blake. I haven't heard anybody use the term burn in a while. Burn. That's so funny. Jeez, people just going hard. And then again, it's just like more people just jumping in. It's wild. Anyway, let's keep going here. Yeah. Then we get into who actually profited more. Okay. That's where we get into now. James Lee steps in. And says, you know what? Let's actually figure that out. So he says, who financially profited off of Charlie Kirk's passing? Who profited more? Candace Owens or Erica Kirk? And he asks Grok. Grok will have the answer. So Grok jumps in. Grok says, hard to pinpoint exact profit, quote unquote, numbers without full disclosures, but facts point to scale. Turning Point USA, Erica Kirk, now CEO and chair, had 85 million revenue pre Charlie Kirk passing. Post September 10th, 2025, it documented donations surging and major pledges, e.g., 1 million from Lynn Ferris. I think that's how you say that, or Fries. 1 million from the Daily Wire as well. That happened very early on, before AmFest even took place. Erica's role carries compensation in the 300K range, which Barron pointed out she donates, and she cried about that. Plus reports of personal assets / insurance. Candace runs an independent media outlet, 10 million annual revenue company. Her heavy coverage, old messages, and theories boosted engagement in ads, but that's incremental personal / platform revenue, not organizational level inflows. Okay. So then Grok says organizational gains at Turning Point dwarf individual content gains. The quoted post correctly notes the differences. Widow leading actual operations versus external commentary. Then James Lee digs deeper. James Lee doesn't play around. So he says, so based on publicly available estimates, the answer is Erica Kirk. And he asks the question. He questions it. So right away, it says, based on public reports, Erica Kirk's position shows larger personal scale gains. Reported net worth from 2 million pre to 12 million estimates post event via inheritance and insurance. Plus leadership of Turning Point USA amid major donation surge. Organization previously 85 million in revenue. This is a lot of money. This is crazy. Pledges slash funds in the millions, with some claims of 80 million plus early inflows. Her CEO comp aligns with prior 300K to 390K. Someone said, please respect Dr. Kirk. Thank you very much. Candace Owens, independent media, 10 mil revenue, gained from, that's crazy. To become the number one podcast in the world and you're only getting 10 million and you beat out Joe Rogan, who's getting like, 3 million, what is it? 3 years, 250 million, that's crazy. It's crazy, the difference. Gained from engagement spikes and coverage, but no comparable documented personal wealth jump tied directly to the event. Organizational inflows under Kirk dwarf typical individual platform boost, though the personal versus organizational operations isn't fully disclosed on either side. Well, there you go. And it keeps going. I don't know why it says thanks for pointing that out. What happens? There you go. Okay, perfect. So what else does it say here? It says thanks for pointing that out. Nonprofit raises money, et cetera. If Eric donates, compensation as suggested. Yeah, I already said that. So she donates. Candace, blah, 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 for profit. Comparison each strictly. Erica, 12 million. Erica, basically, and then I'll go beyond Grok for a second, and then basically beyond Grok we go towards whatever that insurance payout is that Danks actually found out, that video that he made, whatever amount that is, that would go to her as well. Whatever she needs in terms of, I'm not going to say she uses Turning Point money, but they kind of operate like politicians, all these people that are in this inner circle, but by which I mean what they have available is kind of for them, or at least there's an allotment that is for them. If they have to spend, say, 100K on a private plane, I doubt that's coming directly from their net worth. That wouldn't make any sense, really. Just me thinking. I don't know for sure. That's speculation, but it would make sense that they would just use the money, probably some kind of allotment that they would have, and just fly on that and travel on that and possibly eat on that and, live on that. The same way politicians do with taxpayer money. They do it all the time. They act like they don't, but they do. They all do, good or bad, whichever ones you like, whichever ones you don't like. They're all doing it all the time, anytime they can, because why wouldn't you as a normal person, especially when there's no recourse, there's no consequence for you doing it whatsoever. Of course, give me the shrimp and lobster, stuff it inside of a steak. Can you stuff it into a steak? Cut the steak in half, put the shrimp and lobster inside, then put the other half of the steak on it. Yes, Wagyu, you moron. Are you listening to me? And then cover it in cheese, seal it up that way, and bring it to me. Just saying. That's what I would do if I was rich. And then we have all the money that they're making, the $250 million, everything like that. So that money is just like not, it goes to them. I shouldn't say it goes to them. It definitely helps them. To act like it doesn't is crazy. Anyway, we move on to Baron Coleman. Baron says no one is happier right now than Blake Neff that he doesn't have to go home and face his wife after this post went viral. With bacon. Yes. I'm so sorry. I forgot that. With bacon. Of course, with bacon. Like, what are we talking about here? Bacon inside. Obviously. Right. So that's what Baron had to say. Then Daisy steps in. It's bad when Daisy steps in. Daisy steps in and says, yeah, I got to go back to that really quick. Just bringing up the fact that he has no wife to go home to is just, that hurts. That hurts. We've all been alone. We've all been alone before. For him to do that, Baron didn't have to do that. What are you preparing for a show or something? I don't know. Then Daisy steps in. Isn't Daisy preparing for a show? says, let's take a very quick look. A conservative glance at the turning point numbers I have off the top of my head. Oh, gosh. Daisy, better breakdown than Grok. Isn't that crazy? That's how good Daisy is. The annual Mar-a-Lago event, which conveniently jumped from $2,500 to $10,000 a ticket after Charlie passed away, had almost 1,000 attendees, noted by Glenn Beck. If everyone purchased the cheapest ticket, including the 50K, 80K, 125K options, that's crazy. That's $10 million. Don't forget the GoFundMe that like went directly to her. She didn't give away that GoFundMe, as far as I know. Could be wrong. ALP and Turning Point USA promoted the Give, Send, Go pages, raised $8 million. That's wild. 8 million. I didn't know that. I thought it was like 2 million. Wow. If Tyler Boyer is to believed, we can argue that another time. Turning Point USA had 520,000 plus merch sales as of September 16th. 916, that infamous 916, with a conservative price per unit. She's very good at this. This is a very technical burn. That's what this is called. This is called a technical burn, you know. This is not a burn with like a firecracker or anything. This is like you were at a warehouse and like a propane tank went on. This is a very technical type of burn that's happening right now. Price per unit of $25. That's $13 million from merch alone in less than 1 full week since Charlie passed. Wow. Go ahead, Daisy. What's next? 6 days of merch plus the Mar-a-Lago event, 2 public fundraisers equals at the very least $31 million. Tax-free, by the way. Wow. Daisy. Daisy's going to start getting attacked by Gary Paramount very, very soon. That's it. You're on the list now. Lady. I think Turning Point is doing just fine without the morbid dead husband copy and desperate CTA links, Blake. I genuinely don't know why you keep trying to troll Candace like she doesn't mop the floor with you every single time. Maybe try sticking to your sad exo incel online forums. Charles, what was it? Charles the 11th, I believe. We'll get into that in a second because Baron and Daisy do a great breakdown on that. P.S. My 6-day merch revenue estimate was actually generous. In fact, you've already made another $1,200 off merch. 29. Gee, how does she have these numbers? $29.76 average price unit since I started typing this. Wow. Keep cashing those checks, King. Jeez. Good gosh. Daisy in the house. These estimates are low. She's like, correct. Jeez. How much did they make? They made $1 billion. They're gonna make $1 billion. That's wild. That's wild. They're gonna make $1 billion. They're gonna make $1 billion. And they're gonna be like, we don't even make money, guys. Just putting on sparkles. Just put no more sparkles. It's just gold, just chopped up into little dust bits. It's just gold and platinum. She's just sprinkling on herself. She's like, we don't need, I give back everything that I make. You know that, right? Just like the president. Yeah. That's exactly what I do. Just on a plane that has a bed on it, just has a bed and a dining table on it, just on one of those planes, just being like, I don't understand. I don't understand what all the fuss is about. We don't even make money. Isn't that right, guys? Cheers, everybody. We don't even make money. So out of touch, so out of touch. I want to just go to the Baron stuff. Really quick because there's like 2 clips that I saw, maybe 3, where I was like, oh man, he did a great job. On this one. The 2 Blakes, when he breaks down the 2 Blakes, because I already heard about it, that video I released, Project Constitution, talking about someone says, what's money? They're like, what is money? Huh? What? I've never seen it. I don't know. I just tell Blake to get things. Blake, did you get it? You did? I don't really know how it all happens. I don't really know. They say I speak. I don't know. Let's jump into what Barron had to say about Blake. Really going in on Blake. And with good reason. His reasoning as to why he's like kind of worried about what Blake is it makes a lot of sense to me. But let's jump into what Barron had to say. Let's just expand on the SmackDown. I mean, I'm giving it to you chronologically as it all happened, right? That's how I'm giving it to you. And then this was to top it all off. After Daisy did what she did, Daisy giving a little bit of insight into what they're going to be talking about too on this show that we have right here. Your humble host. Let's hear what he has to say. Is it on double speed, or did I do it properly? Am I improving? Let's see, guys. Guess.
And posting about her latest struggles. Life's tough, guys. Doesn't work out perfectly for everybody. Sometimes you find yourself with an Ivy League education and a good job, and you're in your 30s and you don't have a spouse. You don't have a girlfriend. You don't have a boyfriend. You're just tumbling through life. And so you post about it with your friends on Facebook, and you don't imagine some short, fat, bald smartass is out there making fun of you behind your back when you were kind enough to accept his friend request on Facebook, or he was kind enough to accept yours.
I realize I should give some context. I realize I should probably give a crumb of context here. When does Barron call people dumbasses? Barron used to offer the logic book. He turned back and he'd be like, here's the logic book. You can get it. He'd show you the Amazon link, which he's not affiliated with. He should be. Not this time. None of that for Blake. So he's talking about when Blake was on these message threads, these online forums, and he took a liking to really berating Asian women. One in particular that he actually worked with. So it was someone that he actually met in person and knew, and he would berate this person secretly on a message thread. He would be anonymous. His name was Charles the 12th. And that's just what he would do. That was a big thing. It's what got him fired. If you didn't know, he used to work for Tucker Carlson. Tucker Carlson even had to release a statement when it all happened, saying that, what Blake has to say is not a reflection of the show, et cetera, et cetera. And they actually got rid of Blake. And it is very surprising when you see it through Barron's lens that Turning Point did hire this guy. Keep in mind, and I said this again last week, Charlie saw fit to hire this guy. Charlie knows Tucker. Charlie knows what's going on in the conservative sphere. So Charlie knew what Blake was like and still hired him. We say Turning Point because we want to be charitable, because he's someone that passed away and he was great. But at the same time, we have to remember he did hire Blake. He must have known from knowing Tucker at the very least. Hey, Tucker, I just hired this guy, Blake. He must have known. So anyway, let's keep going.
I don't know who hurt Blake. But lest you think that woman is the only one he has harassed, I have to point you to some recent posts Blake has made in his ongoing and continued obsession with Candace Owens. And I will say right now, the obsession some of these people show with Candace Owens is disgusting. It's disgusting. It's disturbing. It's disgusting. And it borders on racism and sexism the way they talk about her. This is Blake talking to Candace Owens. Nobody has profited more off of Charlie's death than you have, Candace. And you share plenty of Charlie's private communications with you, but there are a few important differences. One, you were not Charlie's wife. Two, your messages tend to be from half a decade ago or more. I wonder why. Three, you love referring to dates he went on and women he knew prior to Erica. There's very clearly no reason to do this except trying to humiliate Erica. And you were doing, even before you started accusing her of helping to remove Charlie, Finally, you do all of this to profit yourself. Yeah, Turning Point needs to raise money. No, it doesn't. Turning Point doesn't need to raise money. This idea that Turning Point owes some sort of an obligation to its shareholders to return value, that's the whole point of a nonprofit. It doesn't need to raise any money. I got a fly flying around here. It's driving me crazy. It doesn't need to raise any money whatsoever. That's nonprofits by their charter don't have to exist. They exist as a gift from the taxpayers because in theory, they do things that help taxpayers. They provide schooling, they provide hospital services, they provide, services to the poor. Turning Point provides voting support to Republicans. It does that because it actually does things. Well, like fly Erica all over creation. We'll look at some of those things they do tonight. Burning literally tens of millions of dollars in private jet fees of the highest caliber. Puts on multiple conferences a year. Organizes campus. In theory, a conference would pay for itself, right? You charge people a fortune to be there. You guys charge vendors like $10,000 to $50,000 to set up a little tiny table booth that you call a booth. Organizes campus events and faith events. TP Action employs literally hundreds of people for ballot chasing efforts. I can't stand that phrase, ballot chasing, in swing states. You've never done anything remotely comparable. Yeah, because she's not a grifter. She doesn't steal from the taxpayer, allegedly, in my opinion. And you couldn't because you have neither the talent nor the selflessness to do it. All you have is narcissism to think what Charlie built should have been handed over to you for free. So that's a recent post of Blake obsessing over Candace. Here's another recent post of Blake Neff obsessing over Candace when she asked for a video to support their claim that Charlie appointed. They claim they have the video. They just won't give it to us because
this is an older one. We've covered this. I don't want there to be too much overlap, but this is where basically Blake is just calling her a psychopath, and that's why he's not going to show her the video because she won't believe it. I always think of when Blake said that, like, oh, you won't believe us if you showed us the video anyway. And it's like he shows a video and it looks like a South Park video. South Park, when they're like when they show like what Canadians look like, they got the head that just like opens up, the whole thing opens up, like, hey guy, what's going on? And it's just that's what their video would be. Hey guy, what's going on? I'm Charlie Kirk. This is my wife Erica. She looks nice. Oh, hello. Hey guys, I just want to know, want you guys to know, if something happens to me ever, I just want to let you know. I want Erica. I appoint Erica right here. She's my wife. She's pretty, eh? Hey, look around, hey. She's real pretty, guys. Come on, guy. Oh, thank you so much, Charlie. They show that video, and then Candace goes, "This is fake," and Blake's just like, "Oh, I told you she'd say this, guys. Oh my God, she's crazy. She's crazy. I told you this is why I didn't want to show her the video. This is ridiculous. I knew she would do this. That's clearly Charlie Kirk. Hey, guy, what's going on here? I'm Charlie Kirk, in case anyone's wondering. I appoint Erica. I love seeing Erica run my company. That's what I've always wanted. I wish she would run it now. Oh, I can't run it now, honey. I can't run it now. I won't do that right now. Oh, she won't run it right now, but soon I hope she runs it. And Blake's just like, clearly, this is Charlie. What? I can't believe you people. Your hatred blinds you. To what's real. That's how silly they're getting with like the slop narratives, They're just getting so absolutely ridiculous. Everybody was there. Hey, guy, I just want to know what's going to happen. Hi, I'm Donor. Hi, I'm Turning Point Donor. Hi, I just want to know what happens if something were to happen to you. Not that I'm going to say anything is going to happen to you, guy. Oh, well, that's a good question, guy. Okay, well. And Blake's just like, what? You guys going to say that's fake? And we're all like, that's clear. That was clearly made by the creators of South Park, Blake. Oh my God, what are you talking about? Everyone knows that's how Charlie looked. All Charlie's videos get deleted. They just put up all these videos of him just as a cartoon. Hey, guys, it's Charlie Kirk. What's going on? The thing about Sydney Sweeney is she's natural. You don't have to care about this. I got good genes ad. This is crazy. Hey, isn't this crazy, Andrew? Yeah, guy, this is nuts. Yeah, guy. It's all that out of nowhere. You're just like, you deleted all his videos, and they're like, what are you talking about? This is how it's always been. What? This is how his videos look. They've always looked this way. What are you talking about? They've never not looked like this. His videos have always been like, this is the same video. It's always been up. just crazy 50-minute cartoons, South Park cartoons, Charlie Kirk. Hey, guy, I just want to say I love BB. Guys, hey, guy, just want to say I've always loved BB, guy. Hey, what's going on, guys? I've always loved BB, guy, and I think he's the best. I love Philadelphia more than I love America. Hey, guys, I'm Charlie Kirk. I've always talked like this. You go to the Turning Point website. He just looks like that now. Everything's just rewritten. You post pictures of what he really looks like. They're like, this is crazy. That's AI. That's not Charlie. This is Charlie. This is a cartoon. So stupid. I've never seen this video. He posted this video like a month before he passed away. Hey, guy, I got to tell you how much I hate Candace Owens. I hate Candace Owens so much, guy. She keeps trying to call me. I say I don't want to talk to you, Candace. They have a video. Candace is like, hey, Charlie, I just want to be friends. Can we just be friends? No, guy, I don't want to be friends with anyone like you ever. Come on. Me and Blake have to go. We're going to go get ice cream. Me and Blake together. Oh, come on, Charlie. I just want to. Anyway, why don't I work for South Park? I make some great episodes if I worked on South Park. Anyway. And it would be super insulting because they make him the Canadian version. They wouldn't even make him like the Eric Cartman, like, hey, guys, what's going on? None of that. No, they just make him Terrence and Phillips style. They're just like, I don't care. Anyway, if somebody's just tuning in for the first time to this live stream, this podcast, they're like, what in the hell is happening right now? They're like, what is going on? What's this guy do? Is this guy crazy? A little bit. Where were we? The video of him and Trump. Hey, guy, I'm just hoping that you blow up Iran, guy. Oh, I'm gonna do that to Iran. I'm for sure gonna. Yeah, guy. Of course I'm gonna do that to Iran, guy. Oh, I can't wait to see Iran blown to bits, guy. That's the best thing that could possibly happen, guy. I've always been a big proponent of war. Me and Lindsey Graham had tea yesterday. We were talking about war. Oh, don't worry, guy. There's gonna be so much war, guy. They're like, what? This is the unseen footage of Charlie we were talking about. Just 1984 us. They're just like, he's always looked like this. Gary comes out, Graham Allen. They're like, this is what Charlie's always looked like. What? I don't know. They're just taking pictures, just photoshopping a cartoon version of Charlie. That's what he's always looked like. What? He's always looked like this. Anyway. Let's move on here. I don't want to get stuck into those voices. I can really get stuck into those voices. I haven't watched South Park in a while either. It'd be a great thing to watch. If you guys need any writers, call me, South Park. I can definitely help you guys out for sure. If any writers want to drop out, I'll drop it. It's just him and Thomas Massey. Hey, what's going on, Charlie? Hey, I really like everything you do. Well, let me tell you something about you, Thomas Massey. I hate you. I've always hated you, guy. You're a piece of garbage. I've always said you're a piece of garbage, guy. You're the worst. Then he turns around. farts on him. Yeah, guy, that's what you get, guy. I don't like anything about you, guy. Leave those files alone, guy. I don't like that you keep talking about those files, guy. Hey, man, I thought you and I were friends, guy. What's going on here? No, guy, no, not me, buddy, not me. I'm not friends with you. Hey, I'm not friends with you. I've never been friends. I don't even like you, bud. And Blake's just like, see, I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you. Anyway, oh man, do the Simpsons. I can't do the Simpsons. Simpsons is just like regular the world, you know. The Simpsons does us. We don't predict and imitate the Simpsons. The Simpsons predicts and imitates us. It's a weird show, you know. So anyway, let's keep going here. Someone said do Chef. I don't even remember what Chef sounds like. He's Isaac Hayes, right? Oh, I can't. Yeah, I don't even remember what he sounds like, man. But let's keep going here. We got Baron just breaking down a little bit about Blake there. I just got to get a little closer. The eyesight's coming off here. I got to make sure I go to the next clip where he strategically picks Blake apart right here. Not too far apart. There it is.
Blake is a dangerous man, in my opinion. I think he's deeply disturbed. I think he has deep hostilities towards women as a class, and minority women in particular. And if TPUSA wants to know why they're having so much image trouble, people like Blake Neff are a huge part of the problem. Blake is a dangerous individual, in my opinion. In my opinion, he's a dangerous individual, and he has no business whatsoever sitting next to a picture of Charlie Kirk broadcasting multiple days a week. I think 4 or 5 days a week they broadcast live. He sits next to the empty chair, the famed empty chair. And he sits above the name Charlie Kirk 3 places on the screen. I think TPUSA needs to get to the bottom of who posted the updates about the Asian woman from the university, or who worked at the university where Blake went. And I don't think it's a huge stretch to suggest, following a 3 or 4 day trip where Blake was literally around thousands, maybe tens or hundreds of thousands of Asian women over the course of the weekend, or the course of the 4 days, that he would then, on the day he's returning, post to that same thread. So Blake, if you're listening, be honest. I know that's tough for you. I know it's hard for you. I know this isn't something you're going to want to do. But you voluntarily resigned from Fox News when you got caught the first time. Are we to believe that in one of the most remarkable coincidences in global history, someone 5 years after you got fired from Fox News for a 5-year period of harassment? So this was started 10 years ago. This 5-year harassment period ended 5 years ago, and then that thread lay dormant for 5 years. And then after you spend 4 days around Asian women, all of a sudden, someone randomly decides to fire up the old laptop, check out this woman minding her own business, trying to start a life for herself, bothering nobody. Her only crime to you, Blake, was that she existed and probably didn't take an interest in you, because very few, if anyone, ever has. It's not a big stretch to me to believe that you were the one that did it. It is a
That's wild. What if he is the one that did it? I'm not saying he is. But that is very odd that there was, because again, to give some context, Barron shows the fact that in Seoul, I believe it was Seoul, Charlie was there and he was doing his whole thing. Speaking, having talks about the gospel, et cetera, on panels, giving speeches, everything. They were out there for 4 days. Blake was with them. Blake doesn't take fondly to these ladies. If you go by what he was posting in his anonymous form, funny that the name is actually Charles. Very interesting. But there was a reason behind that as well that Barron went into a little bit. But then he spends 4 days, then randomly that same thread, of which apparently, if you watch the whole episode of Barron talking about it, Blake is rather famous, like not famous, but he's well known in those parts. A community starts getting together and there's always people who are, they're standouts. They talk a lot. We have Miss Chris Viz here that you see all the time. She's always wishing us peace and good health. And, there's names that you get to know. He was like one of those names. Charles the 12th was one of those names. And then all of a sudden, randomly, it's like it's revived, but it's not. It'd be crazy if it was under the same name. There'd be no question then from Barron whatsoever if it was the same name. So I'm guessing it came up again under a different name, but the account is doing the same type of things. Ah, man. Yeah, now that somebody's saying, like, what did he say? Someone said, like, he has, like, serial killer vibes. Like, yeah, I get that. Yeah, I don't think he is one, but I get it. When you make that suggestion. Let's go a little more here.
Massive stretch to me to believe anyone else would have possibly done it on that day. On the day you're coming back from being around tens or hundreds of thousands of agent women. Andrew, Erica, Tyler, TPUSA board, family members of Erica Kirk, family members of Charlie Kirk. Is this who you want carrying your legacy? Is this honestly who you want bearing the torch, being the mouthpiece for Charlie Kirk and for TPUSA? The day in and day out mouthpiece on the Charlie Kirk show? Is this who you want? And frankly, is his constant assault on Candace Owens not indicative of the actual underlying problem, that he has a deep-seated problem with minority women? Because I think he does. I think it's dangerous. I think it's bad. I think it's really bad. So I put the ball in your court, TPUSA.
You have to remember something, though, okay? Got to remember a little something. They're also aligned with a guy who allegedly did terrible things in Romania, and another guy who likes to put people inside of prayer circles. His eyes roll back in his head, turn completely black, and then he summons demons into the room as well as angels. Just remember, you got to remember, Barron, who they like to align themselves with here, You gotta remember, there's a guy who said he was a pastor, but now he's not a pastor, and his eyes turn black under certain circumstances. So maybe they're like, Blake, that's fine. Blake's okay. But it is weird. And again, interesting that they're keeping him hired, but Charlie had to be okay with it. I'm not saying Charlie hired him directly, because, Charlie talks about making like macro decisions and not making micro decisions. Maybe having someone around him who would be, quote unquote, as Charlie said, or as they say Charlie said, his brain, maybe Charlie would have more of a hand in that, the same way he's the one that made sure to hire Mikey. Maybe, but, he definitely knew. He knew about this guy's past. There's no way Tucker Carlson wouldn't tell him about his past. There's no way. They're friends. Of course, hey, that guy that you got working for you, he actually was doing something on my show and it was actually really bad. And I had to release a statement and it was terrible. He had to have known. So Charlie let it happen, but Turning Point allows it to keep happening. And here's the thing about it. We talk about the attacks on Candace. They like it. They were working, at least they were contacting Gary. And they were saying, hey, this is the alibi, here's some pictures, this, that. And They were okay with what Gary was doing. They have no problem with what Graham Allen does. Graham Allen was a speaker. I think he was a speaker on I think it was Amfest. He was a speaker. They wanted Tim Pool. Tim Pool even said during his rant when he was screaming and yelling and everything, he even said that they offered him a spot on Amfest as he was calling Candace to see you next Tuesday and screaming and talking about the schematics of her house and everything. As he was doing that whole thing, Turning Point turned to him and said, "You want to speak at Amfest?" They saw what Ben Shapiro did to her for years, right? They saw it for years. They know Charlie didn't like it. They still had Ben Shapiro on. He was the first person to speak. Erica went on, and then Ben. You got to remember that too. So I think they like it. I don't think they have a problem with it. I don't think they have issue with what Blake does, how he talks to Candace. I mean, there was another report. I shouldn't say reporter. There was another producer who was in charge of, I guess, the Charlie Kirk show. This is what this guy claimed, at least. He said he was in charge of the posting and whatnot. And him and Candace got into it because Candace was like, "You guys are deleting episodes." And he's like, "No, Spotify is actually archiving them," which is not true. Spotify does not randomly archive your episodes. They never do that. Check Joe Rogan. He has literally 3,000 episodes, maybe just under 3,000 episodes right now, including his MMA show that he does, including the other ones that don't count towards the regular count of podcasts. What are we talking about here? Like, come on, right? So they don't do that. But they got into a back and forth, and he started calling her the DEI queen. I covered the whole thing. He even went as far as to go into a 3D program and create an African crown. And he said, "Here is your crown. You're the queen of DEI." He still works for Turning Point, right? You have Tyler threatening to sue people while he's on X. Every time he gets stumped by somebody or he gets ratioed or owned by somebody, he threatens to sue someone. It's happened, I don't know, at least 5 different times. So you got to remember all that. They like it. I think they like it. I think they approve. I think they can't say that they approve because that would look terrible. But in the background, they're like, yeah, there you go. Good. I think they have no problem with it. They have no problem with the doxing that Gary's trying to do to people. They have no problem with Blake going at people. They have no problem with Tyler going at people. They have no problem with rewriting things that Charlie have said. They have no problem with any of this. I mean, Erica didn't even talk to the surgeon, and she gave the whole, it's alleged that she's the one, or her and Andrew together came up with the neck of steel thing. They have no problem with this stuff. I think they've shown this time and time again, right? Anyway, just to say. So, someone said Mikey McCoy is the straightest male left at Turning Point USA. Whew, I know. And he's moving and shaking those hips. So what does that tell you? Yeah. Anyway, let's move on to the last clip I have here of Barron. Great show, by the way. Definitely check it out if you haven't already. Definitely check it out. He did a good job. He started getting into some flight stuff and started talking about the other Blake as well. Blake Wynn, who has been accused of being Erica Kirk's alleged boyfriend by Project Constitution, and someone who actually said that they were seen together. And then there are a lot of pictures of them together. Anyway, let's go.
Charlie Kirk passed away. This is from Blake Wynn's Twitter feed here. It says, "Notice how all of these so-called, quote, best friends of Charlie Kirk didn't grieve like people who lost their best friend. Instead, within just hours of his death, they began spreading rumors or trying to self-promote on the back of this horrific tragedy. You know who you are." Well, that's an interesting tweet to delete, because when I first went to Blake Wynn's account, immediately following Project Constitution's story, as soon as I went there, that tweet was still up. And then when we went to pull that tweet to include in a show, it had been taken down. That's weird to me. Why would you take that tweet down? That tweet, I mean, if that's how you feel, why do you care? So I instantly go back and say, well, who is this guy? I don't know anything about him.
There you go. Very, very weird stuff. And, this is obviously aside from, Blake Neff. It's a different Blake. But I just found that very interesting as well. That little tidbit there that Barron gave us. Who is that guy? And it was clear who he was talking about. It was very clear who he was talking about, right? It's clear he was talking about the inner circle. I think, he could have been talking about other people, but then why delete it? Because those other people can't do anything to you. But he deleted it just as he was in the throes of defending Erica, right? Didn't have any tweets prior to that. The earliest tweet was like in 2025. Then he says something like that about Charlie, also in 2025. And then that's it. I don't know. We'll get into that another time because I'm gonna look deeper into that one. But there you have it. The Blake Smackdown, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you enjoyed. Let's move on. Somebody showed me this. They showed me, who is this? Hughes? I'm just going to call you Hughes or Huge. They showed me this. This is in the realm of what I'm thinking, but there's a certain picture of Candace that I would want with a crown on. There's a certain picture that she has where it looks like she should have a crown on. It's a really interesting picture. It's a good picture. So I like this. I like this a lot. Thank you for sending me this. I've already liked it. I've already saved it. Thank you very much. But that is in the realm of what I was thinking. Also, just to let you guys know that, for the very low price of $100 billion and 99 cents, you too could help financially, and you could help finance a data center. Okay. I have a lot of stuff going on here. As you can see, the sign is in front of Trump Tower. And that's right. Prime real estate, ladies and gentlemen. As you guys know, Gary has outed me as a real estate coach. Prime real estate right here. Underneath Trump Tower. We are going 10 stories down. Okay. Underneath. There are going to be all sorts of things down there, ladies and gentlemen. And you will be able to have a piece of that data center. You understand? This will suck the water out of the surrounding areas. People will experience drought-like circumstances, but none of that matters because you will be raking in the dough of this data center, just to let you know, okay? I'm just putting it out there, okay? We're selling data centers. Call 1-800-333-3333, okay? And don't read much into that number. Contact me. We got data centers going up everywhere, okay? Someone said surveillance center. That is propaganda. That is not what we're doing. These data centers are going to be used just for you to just say crazy things to AI and have it make funny pictures for you. That's all. Okay? And honestly, that's what my friends at Palantir have always wanted for you guys. They just want you to be able to make funny pictures and little videos. That's all. We're not tracking anybody. That's not what's happening. That's not what we're doing here with these data centers, guys. Okay? These are the good data centers. There's like good cholesterol, bad cholesterol. There's good data centers and bad data centers. These ones are going to be just fine. They will destroy the surrounding communities. Okay? I can't overstate that. But you will make a lot of money. You understand? And yes, you're going to have to sign a small NDA with Palantir. I mean, it's nothing. It's nothing. You're going to have to sign that. That's fine. It doesn't mean anything. No one's surveilling anything. Okay. And, in the small print, for those of you that would like to surveil all of the domestic people inside of the country, you'll be able to do that as well with your data center. I mean, it's just what they do. It's fine. Guys, I'm not the bad guy here. I'm just saying, for any of you with a spare $100 billion, 99 cents, 3 low payments, you can get in on this data center stuff. It's good stuff, man. It's good stuff. Anyway, Just figured I'd throw that out there. You know, I am a real estate coach. Oh, I am a real estate coach. Well, Candace went to Russia, and right away, of course, you guys know how that goes. The attacks began like crazy. I mean, this one is just amazing. Candace Owens, traitor to America, speaking in Russian, says it all. Speaking in Russia says it all. She actually speaks in Russian as well. We'll go through that. But speaking in Russia, she is speaking. She did. I think she did. I don't know if it was a little media or what, but you know, there is an event there. Baron actually pointed out something very interesting. I wish I wrote down the timestamp of that, but I'm gonna remember. Ballroom. Actually, I can just say it now that she went out there. There is some event where people were speaking, and then somebody else that's speaking at that event. I believe Baron said it was the White House ballroom executive or something like that. And I was like, what? I was like, the ballroom has an executive? I was like, hold on a second. And he's in Russia? Well, I guess, you know. I want to see anybody. I want to see anybody bring that up. I wonder if Gary's going to bring that up. You know, maybe Gary will have a turn and he'll just be like, listen, I got to call out the White House right now. They got somebody speaking at this event, you know. I doubt it, but it would be interesting, you know. We'll see if that actually happens. So Candace did say why, or she didn't say why. This is like one of the more, you know, joking, but kind of not joking at the same time. She says, I heard they don't spit on Christians in Russia or launder billions of our tax dollars on behalf of corrupt politicians. I'm excited to report back my findings. Honestly, the Zio Ranger lore regarding Alexander Dugin, after I replied to him twice on X, is kind of making me want to meet him. That's what happens. You know, you start pushing really hard. Anna Kasparian talked about that with her husband, where her husband was getting attacked for what was going on in Philadelphia. And they were attacking him because he is, you know, Anna Kasparian's husband. So they said, okay, we can't go after her. She can't get her fired. Okay, let's go after her husband. Let's put the pain there. And she said something very interesting, is that he didn't care about politics or the war in the Middle East or anything that was going on. He didn't care about that stuff at all until they started accusing him heavily of like supporting it or this or that, being hateful, I should say. And then he started coming to her and he started saying, hey, tell me about this. What's going on in Gaza? Like, what's happening there? How does this all work? What does this look like? And she was like, why do you want to know? And he's like, because they're accusing me. He's like, they keep accusing me. They're talking about it all the time. He's like, I want to know what's happening. And now, especially being Anna Kasparian's husband, I'm sure he has an opinion formed. That's what happens. You go after somebody long enough and they start to go, you know what? Let me look into this thing that I'm being accused of all the time. So now Candace didn't really know this Alexander Dugin character. And now she's like, you know what? I kind of want to meet the guy. Let's see what happens. The weird, and it might end up being like an interview. I wouldn't doubt that happening. The weird Cold War propaganda is played out. It wasn't effective during the media's Russian collusion era, and it's not effective now. St. Petersburg has always been on my bucket list. Never met a Russian I didn't like. Well, there you go. There you go. So this is in response to Jigsaw, as we fondly call her on the channel.
Going to be off air next week. Next week, I'm actually going to St. Petersburg. I'm so excited for that. I have been wanting to go to St. Petersburg for a very, very long time, just as a Christian in general, just to see some of those cathedrals and churches. And we're finally making it happen, a family trip. And so that's happening. So I'll be off air for an entire week. I can't wait for the headlines. People saying I guess I'm funded by Iran and Russia and probably Pakistan. Obviously not true. My husband's been to Russia quite a few times because he fishes, and Europeans just get to go everywhere. They just travel there. For them, it's a short flight. And when we got married, I was like, man, I would really love to get out there. We're finally making it happen. So I will be completely off air. Also, if you're going to be off.
And that was in regards to her announcing that she was going to be going to Russia. Honestly, we're going to get into this whole thing. We got Ben Shapiro here now talking about it. I really don't see anything wrong. And this is not, listen, I know I have a bias. I like Candace. I think she's great. Someone says I'm looking slim. And I mean, your boy, we're 20 pounds down as of today, ladies and gentlemen. We're 20 pounds down as of today. So you're damn right. Your boy's looking slim. Okay. Thank you for noticing. Okay. You wait till I get my physique that I want. I'm doing the show shirtless. I mean, I'm just going to be wearing the hat and the headphones. That's it. That's it, ladies and gentlemen. You just wait. You wait. They're going to be like, did he dip himself in baby oil? Why is he so shiny? But I really think it's a little, I know that I have a bias in the sense of, I like Candace. I support, Candace. I think she's great. But at the same time, I really don't see a problem. Even if Ben Shapiro was like, I'm going to Russia, I wouldn't be like, oh, Ben Shapiro's going to Russia. I'd be like, okay, what's he doing there? If you're like, oh, he's meeting with the head of the KGB, I'd be like, oh, okay, that's crazy. What's happening? Is he doing an interview? No, closed door meeting. Oh, that's weird. But it's like, if you're just going there, even if she's speaking at an event, I don't think that's the worst thing. A lot of people do, even Nick F, for those of that are in the know of Nick, even he was like, I called it. She's going to Russia. I told you guys she's going to Russia. It's like, you can't, as an American, you're not allowed to just go to a place and just be there. Like I told you guys about going to Cuba. Is that bad? Like, am I terrible now? I went to Cuba twice. Is that like really like, is that setting off alarm bells for you? I don't know. I think it's very weird to be that way about someone just going to a place. Let me know what they're doing. That's terrible. And then, so it's like Tucker went to Philadelphia. Nobody was like, "Ooh, Tucker's going to Philadelphia." No, like what? Like, come on. You can go places. It's all about what you're doing. I'm hopefully going to Italy. I think I'm going to go to Italy. And let me tell you something. Not going offline like Candace. You know what's going to happen? You all are going to see a whole chunk of Italy. That's what's going to happen. I'm trying to figure out how to do like live streaming while I'm walking around. You guys are going to be seeing Italy. And if I can get you guys in the Vatican, we're going into the Vatican. We're all going in together. And we're going to see some stuff. Hopefully. We'll see if I can get in there. If they'll let me show you guys the Vatican, I'm going to show you guys the Vatican. This is going to be off the chain. Don't be upset when I'm over there. Hopefully. I don't know. We'll see. Never did a honeymoon, never did a wedding for the wife, never did a honeymoon for the wife. You know that? We didn't even have a wedding. We were just like, let's just get this show on the road so we can start having kids. Like, let's just get this thing done. We got engaged and like 3 months later we got married. That was it, So we didn't even do that. So I got to give her something. You know what I mean? Anyway, Italy's going to love me. We'll see. We'll see, We'll see. Who knows? I hope so. Got to learn Italian. But we have Ben Shapiro here talking about it as well. Talking about the whole thing. So, of course, Ben Shapipi's in the house. Listen close, ladies and gentlemen. The eyebrows have something to say.
Owens hates a lot of things, like the truth, basic scientific knowledge, proper pronunciation of words, Charlie Kirk's widow, and naturally the Jews. But undergirding all of that is a conspiratorial anti-American worldview. You see, as we'll get to, Candace really does not like America, and neither do her ideological allies. And that is why she is headed on over to Russia to visit her friends, her ideological handlers and sponsors over in Russia. That's not why she said she's headed to Russia, but here she was on her show explaining that she is headed on over to Russia for the fishing.
You're going to announce that you're going to see your handlers. You're going to announce that to everybody. You have handlers. You have secret handlers in Russia, and you are going to announce to everyone that you are going to see them. Wouldn't that be an insane thing to do? You're going to go to the place. Could you imagine? Listen, if I ever become someone's handler, okay, and I'm not even a part, I'm not even a deep state guy. I think I have the wherewithal. If I was handling someone across the ocean and they were like, I'm going to come and see, I'd be like, hey, buddy. No, hey. Stay right there. You're good. You're good. I'll have someone talk to you. That's it. All right. We already dipped you in baby oil. We already hypnotized you. We already got you all Mortal Kombat ultra'd up. I don't need to see you anymore, buddy. I already got a hold of you. We're good. We're good. You stay over there. I'll stay over here. Don't meet up with me so we could shake hands. Are you crazy? You're my puppet. What are you talking about? You're not coming anywhere to see me, you nutty person. Get out of here. And then I'm going to let you announce it on TV. So that's how, like, you know, it's crazy for so long people were listening to this guy. It's crazy for how long people were listening to this guy. Because the thing about him is he has no street smarts. You know, and I'm not saying as political commentary you need street smarts, but you kind of do, because it gives you like deductive reasoning a little bit. You know, he doesn't have that. He just kind of says things. I know I'm being charitable here. Like, he's not doing it like, you know, he's not in good faith with what he's saying. Obviously, he's bad faith with what he has to say about Candace. But it's like, at least make your thing make sense. You know, make your thing make sense. This doesn't make any sense. But he doesn't even know that part. He doesn't know the part that, like, oh, if you have a hand, like if you're doing something secret, it's going to stay secret. You're not going to announce it on the podcast. He doesn't even have that. He's been that sheltered. That's why he's playing a violin. You guys showed me he's playing a violin. Larry King is introing him playing a violin when he was 12. He's been very sheltered. Very sheltered. This is what these plants of sorts look like. This is what they're like. You know, you're kind of seeing that with Nick Shirley as well. You know, he doesn't really have, you need the street smarts a little bit. And it's not like you got to be a gang member to have them, but you at least have to be outside. You got to be running around a little bit. You got to get into a couple scuffles, be around some people. You know, you can tell this guy just doesn't have that. It's just not, it just hasn't happened ever at all. You know? Anyway, let's continue to hear what he has to say.
For the fishing. Now, I'm not saying that Candace is funded by all of these governments. I'm saying that she has ideological solidarity with those governments. Because, see, here's the thing. Our current status with Russia, not great. Obviously, St. Petersburg itself has been under Ukrainian attack recently. And not just that. The United States government has a problem with the Russian government. The State Department currently says that Americans should not travel to Russia for literally any reason. Quote, U.S. citizens are at risk due to terrorism, unrest, wrongful detention, and other threats. U.S. citizens in Russia should leave immediately. One of the reasons, by the way, is because they say that the Russian embassy, the American embassy in Russia, will not be able to help you if you go over there and you get in trouble with the Russian government. In fact, Scott Bessent, the Treasury Secretary, pointed out that the United States has severe sanctions on Russia right now for a reason.
Biden. So, again, this is exactly what I'm talking about here. Someone says, have you seen the comments on Ben Shapiro's Facebook videos? I think you will enjoy. I have to check that out. I'll check that out, definitely. I wrote it down right here. I'm going to check that out, but I haven't started posting on Facebook myself yet. But this is just another example of that. He's like, well, the gov says that you shouldn't ever go there. So, and then she's going there? She's defying the gov? Like, what? This is crazy. Like, what if the Biden administration said that to Ben? I'm sure he'd be like, what do they know? I'm not listening to a word that Biden has to say. In fact, I'm on a plane right now and I'm in Russia. I'm going to eat goulash and I'm going to do what I want because I'm not listening to Joe and Kamala. That you do that exact thing. Now, because the Trump administration says it, it's like written in stone. Like, oh, you shouldn't go there. They say that a lot about a lot of different places. There's all sorts of travel warnings when you go to any place. There's a whole bunch. There's different levels, this, that. If they're saying not to go there at all, I mean, you have to really think about what they're saying. If they're telling you that you can, like, say, go to, like, Dominican, just for example. I know Black Poppy, I love Dominicans. But if they're telling you, hey, you should go there, like, you have a pretty high likelihood of getting robbed, depending on where you go, You go to South America, there's a chance. It didn't happen to Nick Shirley because he's connected over there. but there's a chance you get kidnapped. Oh yeah, it happens, right? But go look at their travel warnings. It's not as high as Russia's. Why is that? Is it because they're very honest with you? I don't know. Have they been very honest with you? Have you experienced that recently? I'm not saying, again, I said this last time. I'm not saying it's a great place to go or anything like that, but I don't exactly know either. Okay, I don't want to hear Scott Bassett saying things. Guy's zestier than Blake. He's literally zesty, you know. He's like he's on the record as zesty. Yeah.
Any country they want, like Russia. No risk there. Okay. My security team would not let me travel to Russia because my security team would not think, okay, fine, famous, rich person. Now, listen, I get that there are a lot of people out there who think, okay, fine, famous, rich person goes to any country they want, like Russia. No risk there. Okay. My security team would not let me travel to Russia because there's a pretty high likelihood that I would be wrongly arrested or maybe some sort of polonium would be put in my tea or something. Candace Owens traipses in, as did, of course, Tucker Carlson. No problem. And there's a reason for that, and that is because they are useful idiots for the Russian regime. They agree with the Russian.
They're going to take Ben Shapiro. That's what he thinks. Something's going to happen to him. My security team wouldn't let me go to Russia. Like, you're a nerd. Actually, no one should be going to Russia, and I have security that would tell me that it's the wrong thing to do, so I'm not sure why they're going to those places. It's like, okay, buddy. Like, we get it, you know? You've never even seen a fight in person before. We understand. Okay. We get it, all right? You don't really understand the world all that much. You know, you're a smart guy who hasn't been out into the world all that much. I get it. You know, I grew up with a lot of guys like this guy. A lot of guys like this guy. I know exactly what's going on here. You know, not a bad guy, just doesn't know much. That's all. Just very sheltered, you know. So anyway, that's what Ben has to say about the whole thing. Candace is a Russian spy. That's what he really wants to say. He wants to say that out loud. He really does, but he can't say that exactly. But he wants to say that. He wants to do what was done to Tulsi, what's been done to Tucker, and he wants to do it to Candace now. But the thing about it is Candace has security as well, and she's kind of not afraid. Right? Ben Shapiro is basically telling you that he's afraid to go over there, which is fine. I understand the fear, right? Especially a place you don't know. You know, it's supposed to be the enemy, right? I get that 100%. But I mean, to be like you're scared in that sense, it's just so weird, you know. Anyway, that's Ben Shapiro, ladies and gentlemen. Friend of the show, by the way. And also both eyebrows, friends of the show. I don't know if I ever told you guys that. So this person, Ryan, I don't know who this guy is. Is this guy like a known person? I guess so. Oh, he has a show? Does he? President of the Monroe Institute? Am I seeing that right? Am I reading that name right? Huh. Okay. Interesting. He goes exclusive Russian state directed. I couldn't even tell you what that word is. What is that? Tarzad TV, sanctioned by the US Gov, announces that Candace has been interviewed by a spokesperson for the Russian Orthodox Church, Moscow, Putin controlled, and it will be soon released on Spaz TV. It's amazing. So apparently Candace did this. She sat down with this guy. They had this conversation. Russian letters behind her. Hands behind your back, man. Talking with people. They have her in terrible light. Terrible light. They did that on purpose because they're the enemy. Everybody knows it. Everybody knows it. They could have done the light better, and they know they could have done the light better, and they decided not to do the light better. They're the enemy. Confirmed. Ben Shapiro was right. Ben Shapiro was right. I take it all back. He knew exactly what he was talking about. How dare you do that to Candace? So there you have it, right? Obviously, these images are being released by them. You know, you don't get access to an image like this unless it's actually the network talking about it. And the 33 in the background. Oh God. Oh my gosh. I'll never doubt Ben Shapiro again. I'll never doubt him again. But I mean, it does make sense. Russian Orthodox Church. She's talking about Christianity. I hope they had to talk about Christianity. I see, I don't know about Russian Orthodox, but I know Orthodox Christian. I have a friend that's in the midst of becoming Orthodox Christian, and it's very interesting. The whole thing is very interesting. The way they think about things, the stuff that they talk about, very interesting. But this person's basically making it look like, oh my God, she's gonna be on Russian TV. End of story. Hands behind your back. You are done. Can't believe it. And I just think that's ridiculous. I just do. I just do. Like I felt that same way when Tucker was interviewing Putin. I was like, this is so silly. Like Jon Stewart, Rachel Maddow, Jon Stewart. Remember I said that. All of them together in unison being like, Tucker's not a real journalist. All because he was going to Russia to interview Putin. It's like, really? Like, this is what you try to pull off? Like, when you have nothing, this is what you try to pull off. That's just the way that it goes, you know? So then he also says, you know, real Candace Owens did not tell you the real reason she's going to Russia, you know? She'll be joining Putin. Will Putin be there? I feel like Putin's not going to be there. Many others in the Russian gov, intel, propaganda operatives, etc. A speaker at St. Petersburg International Economic Forum. What is that? Spifk? All right. She said she might meet Dugin, et cetera, as her critics are making the meeting happen, blah, blah, blah. The truth is Dugin is already scheduled as a speaker at the event. But again, the thing that they're leaving out, oh God, this guy, 2025. I'm not listening to this test tube baby today. That's for darn sure. That guy was made in a vat, you know? He was. Change my mind. But they're trying to make it seem as though she's doing this terrible thing by going there, getting interviewed, talking with someone. But again, like Barron pointed out, someone from the White House is going there as well. They're speaking as well. So then what do we say about that? He saw the same level 4 threat level, do not travel. He saw all that too, right? He saw all that stuff. He knows, he for sure knows how the administration feels about Russia. He knows all those things. But for some reason, he can go. No one says a word about it. He or she. I'm not really sure who it is even. But for some reason, Candace cannot go. Interesting. Okay. Maybe because they're trying to like make Candace seem a certain way. Now, this I found very funny. This is where Candace gets into it with Laura, with Jigsaw. The Jigsaw. You know, you guys know who I'm talking about here. Big looms here. Candace is 100% in communication with sanctioned individuals. As I reported recently, Dugin said he wants Russia to sell nuclear weapons to Iran to destroy the United States. Well, show the video of him saying that, please. The State Department. So she tags the State Department, DOJ, and the U.S. Treasury really need to investigate Candace Owens. Tags the new DA, Todd, what is that? Blanche? Todd Bland. That's what I like to call him. With the backing, blah, 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 blah. But either way, Candace saw this, and right away, she just sent this picture to Loomer with Russian letters. My God. Jigsaw was right. Scary Larry, Jigsaw, whatever you want to call them. Whatever you want to call them. My God, they were right this entire time. She said, oh no. And then wrote all these letters here. My goodness. And then CC'd Baron Coleman. Oh, Baron's involved in this too. Oh, oh my goodness. Then I saw somebody else post. Somebody else posted. They circled this image and they're like, Putin? ? Oh my gosh. There's Candace having a great time. There you have it, you know. You can't leave until someone says bye. What kind of nerd are you? Oh, that Christy's actually a nice lady. I like you, Christy. Bye, Christy, with your super famous Illuminati father, who did not actually get dipped in baby oil. You have a very famous father. I would love to talk to her about that one day. One day, if she's ever willing to talk on camera, I would just like to hear that. Super famous father, like just ridiculous famous. Like one of those, it's like a deep state fame. Anyway, let me not get distracted. You distracted me, okay? Christy, get out of here. Get on out of here, lady. Have a great day. I know you're still here. I would like to talk to one day when I'm talking about like Hollywood and all the stuff. I should do that. We should do that. We should sit down and talk a little bit. But then that's what Candace says here. Candace talks about that, all that stuff, but I can't find a translation. I want to translate these letters and it won't let me do it. Maybe if I go to Candace's page and I actually find it. Oh, she posted some sick pictures. Can I at all translate this? It's not letting me translate it. I would love to know what that says. What kind of cryptic Russian message she's putting out there to all of her handlers. So she says that to Loomer. And then she also says this. She goes, I learned, what is this, Cyrillic? In a day. Jigsaw, you should also tag the NSA. This matter is urgent. Do all that you can. Candace Owens, very, very, very sarcastic with Loomer. And Loomer is fuming over it, of course. You know, she posts that. Let me just keep going here. Oh, yeah, and then she gets pissed off. So after Candace says then Loomer's like, oh, yeah? Okay. It's going to be so funny when the Trump admin actually does crack down on Candace Owens for Farah. She thinks she's invincible. They all do. Till they aren't. I mean, what a supervillain, you know? You do some stuff to your face and you just become a supervillain. Then she tags Kash Patel, tags the DA, or sorry, the DAAG, sorry. No, DAG. There you go. Tags Scott Bassett, tags Marco Rubio. She's not playing around. Not playing around at all. In fact, this is an actual picture Candace sent from Russia. This is real. This is real. This is not made up. Just so you guys know. That's a legit image. So she's mad about it, of course. And then Candace, of course, comes back. These two, I mean, they're like Tom and Jerry without the love, you know. Tom and Jerry at least loved each other a little bit in the background of things. These two, not like Tom and Jerry at all. I mean, just, no love between the two. Kind of like Wile E. Coyote in the Roadrunner, you know. So she says all that, and Candace responds with this. She goes, if you manage to decipher the secret code, like if you show the original, she wrote it all in Russian. How dare you? How dare you? In a Russian America flag? How dare you, lady? If you manage to decipher the secret code, let's meet at the ballet. There will be a performance of Cinderella. Just don't tell anyone. So she's at the ballet. That's beautiful, by the way. I mean, just to, that is beautiful. I can't imagine. Definitely not something I would do if I went to one of those places. I'm not into opera or anything like that, but beautiful stuff. And then she starts having this epiphany, Candace. She goes, I'm not sure what I was expecting, but I wasn't expecting this. Moscow is unbelievably beautiful city. And she shows these pictures. And it really is. It really is. There was a guy, I forget what his name is. He's an actor. I think he was in Lost. He's been in a bunch of movies. His name's John. For sure his name's John. And this is just gorgeous. See, this is the type of stuff I want to see at the Vatican. This is beautiful. I love a place. I was talking about that this weekend. I love a place that preserves stuff. So many throughout North America. It's just, they see something that's old and they're just like, how old is it? 500 years old? Okay, let's tear it down and build a box with glass on it. And it just keeps going like that. Even churches, it doesn't matter what it is. They're just like, demolish it all. Get rid of all of it and just build boxes with glass on top. That's it. Just give me glass and give me box. Okay. We just want people to walk into boxes. That's what we're looking for here. And it's like, man, there are some places in the world where they're just like, let's preserve stuff. Let's make sure that whatever was beautiful that was made before. No, it's not John Locke. Actually, it might be John Locke. I'm not sure. He has a podcast now. I think he was on Lost. But they just preserve things. It's just, I don't know. You know, like you see the Vatican, when you see not even just the Vatican, like my buddy moved out to like Slovenia. And when he's just like on his excursions, just running around, he'll show me a video and he'll be like, this is a 400-year-old church. And he'll just be inside of it. It's a 400-year-old church. 500 sometimes, 600 sometimes. You go to Ireland and you walk by like a rock and they're like, this rock is a checkpoint and it's been here for 2,000 years. We don't move it because it's a rock and it's been here. It's like in North America, they'd be like, blow it up. Blow up this rock. How old is it? Blow it up. I want you to blow it up and I'm going to snort the pieces. Oh, yeah, I am. Oh, yes, I am. Build a condo on this rock immediately. Immediately. Now. Build a flimsy condo on top of this rock immediately. How dare you? How old is it? Get it out of here. Throw it into the ocean. It's like, what? What's going on? Like, for sure there was pyramids in America. For sure there were. They were just like, I don't care. Get rid of it. Get it out of here. There's for sure tons of pyramids throughout America. And they're just like, I want it gone. I want it destroyed. Destroy it now. They're like, take it out. Blow it up now. Get it out of here. Canada, there's for sure pyramids. They're like, steamroll it. Steamroll it now. I want it gone. I don't want anybody to ever see any of this. Get it out of here. I don't care. Bones of giants? Are there bones of giants? Disintegrate them. Disintegrate them now. Okay? Build condos immediately. Build saloons. Build condos. Build boxes. Give me glass. This is crazy. Build a ghetto. Build 4 ghettos right here. I want 5 ghettos right here. Yes. Yes. From Crown Heights to the Bronx, I want nothing but ghettos. Get rid of all the historical objects. What? Why? Yeah, they build an ugly box. Build an ugly box that's going to fall apart in 6 years. Yes. 6 years. And build 3 of them beside each other. 6, 6, 6. Yes. Do that on every city block. Yes. It's like, what? Why? I could only speculate as to why you would do that. Erasing history, rewriting history, making sure people don't know their actual history. Perhaps that's what I always lean towards. That they just want to hide it. They don't want you to see it, Anyway, I say all that to say I like a place that preserves. I went off a little bit. I went on the deep end a little bit, and now we're back. We swam back. We're on shore now. We're okay. Let's dry off. But yeah, man, I love a place that just preserves stuff, and that's just gorgeous. What's the next thing she saw? Okay, and that's the actual stage. Yeah, it's just gorgeous stuff. But anyway, that's what Candace posted there. She's like, I didn't know what to expect. And it's true, you don't know what to expect, especially when you've been told a certain thing about a place, right? And then she goes on to say here, she's like, I'm starting to understand why the talking heads panic and shout and lie about Russian collusion when they learn an American with a platform is traveling here. It's Plato's allegory of the cave. It is genuinely shocking how clean, beautiful, and ordered this city is. It is so far removed from the media depictions. Another place that's like that? There's some places in Africa that are like that. Like, I don't know what you see, but I just remember in the arms of an angel, and some kid with his ribs and just flies just hitting them in the face. It's like, dunk, 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 dunk. That's what I think of. But apparently it's not like that. They got things. There's places where it's normal. There's normal places. But that's not what I think of, right? And I'm starting to learn. I'm like, oh, like, especially when I learned the 9 fastest growing economies are all in Africa. I was like, how do they do that when they're in the Stone Age? And they're like, we are not in the Stone Age, eh? We are not in the Stone Age, like you said. No, we have cars. We build our cars. We have building. We have all these things. Okay. We are not like what you say. Okay. We do not do loincloth. We are not walking in loincloth. We have pants. We're trouser. We do trouser. We have belt. We have Gucci belt if we want. Yeah. Yeah. And we're like, oh, geez. Excuse me. Sorry. I didn't. We have materialism here too in Africa. Okay. We do abundance in all the things. Right? Yeah. How dare you? You white black person. You white black person, you. I don't even know how you speak. You speak like hello. You're supposed to say hello. You've lost all your blackness. It's only in your skin. It's not in your soul. That's how they talk to me. They don't like me. Why do you sound like a man named Mark from accounting? Why do you sound like this, eh? Why do you sound so white? How you get so white like this? Huh? Is this paint on your face? Are you insulting me as a white man, painting your face and talking to me like you're black man? Huh? What is this? How you get like this? Were you adopted by white people? The white people adopt you, right? And raise you like their own. Is that what happened with you? Hey, relax. Anyway. We're talking about Russia, right? Anyway. Candace ended up posting more about it recently. I didn't see this. More. This is only, 2 hours ago? So she posted that. She posted a bunch of stuff here. So this is the stuff that she's kind of seeing there that's making her go wild about this place. The Christian expression, you guys are seeing this, right? The Christian expression and heritage here is unmatched. Surprisingly, they are lying to us about Russia. So this is kind of like what Tucker went through. If you remember, Tucker went to like a grocery store. Tucker went to a grocery store and he was like, looking at the prices and walking around. He didn't do all this though. This is gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. But Candace seems to have more of an affinity for religious sites and just in general, like the culture there towards religion than Tucker does. I think she has more of that. This is absolutely beautiful. This is gorgeous too. This is crazy. This is absolutely crazy. I don't know what we're seeing. Oh, that's why she's so comfortable, because she's with a gangster. No one's going to play around with this guy right by her side. Are you kidding me? Oh, that's why she feels so comfortable, because she has a straight up thug with. Don't worry, my lady. You're with me. Nothing's going to happen to you. Just stay behind me. Russian thugs come up to George. Oh, you're going to give us the money. You're going to give us the money now? Mate, do you know who I am? I'll have you know, the family of Farmer has bowed down to no one in over 4,000 years. You'll know your place. You'll know your place, Moscowian. Pulls out a sword. Yeah. The British guy pull out a sword. In America, I'd bring my Glock to your head. But here in Moscow, I'll respect you with a duel. Pulls out another sword, throws it to him. You're going to die by these blades today, mate. You're going to die by these blades. Ching, 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 ching. Am I wrong? Is that a wrong assumption? That's not what British people do? They don't pull out swords and stuff? Come on. Prove me wrong. Change my mind. She has some nice family pictures, everything like that. So they're out there. And you know what? I have seen a lot of people come to this conclusion, not really about Russia, but definitely just about the world. There's a lot of people I know that have traveled places and they're like, oh, I could live here, or I could be here. I told the story before. My friend has moved to Australia. He was like, I'm done. He moved out. I told you about the other friend. He moved to Slovenia. When I think of that, I think of just terrible. Yeah, I think of bad conditions. He's like, no, it's great. He's like, I grow my own food. It's like, everything I eat's organic, not spraying things on anything. Me and my wife, we're about to have a kid. They love families. Like, I'm just, you can go around and check it out. Ben Shapiro, I have something opposite of what Ben Shapiro would say. Ben Shapiro said that you don't have the right as a person, as an American, to live where your grandparents and their parents lived. You don't have the right to do that. If there's no opportunity there, you should have to leave. He was saying that. I say the opposite thing of there's probably a very slim chance that where you are right now is the best place for you. It's probably great and you get by, but there's probably another place where especially if you're single, where you'd be like, oh my gosh, like I'm staying here. I have to stay here now. There's probably a place like that for you. And I don't know where in the world it could be. I don't have any suggestions for you, but there's different places. Yeah. You've been in Florida your whole life. Check out California. Been in California your whole life. Go check out Montana. Maybe you can get through the winters. Maybe you don't care. Right? There's so many different options. Just check it all out. Who knows? Maybe one of you has lost your mind and you will enjoy living in Canada. I don't know. Maybe you're nuts. I'm kidding. Anyway, that is the end of that. So what we've learned today is Candace is a Russian agent. Okay. If you've taken anything from this, please take that little tidbit with you there. Okay. She's 00 Owens over there. So just know. Remember who told you. Little comedy break in between before I jump to the next story here. Victor Marx having a conversation here. Just absolutely ridiculous. Just a ridiculous conversation.
Is there a part of your life story that can't be scrutinized, or is it all fair game for people to look at?
It's all fair game.
Okay.
Yeah.
Your claim that your abusive stepfather forced you to kill a man when you were 7 years old, is that the only person you've ever killed?
Well, I would say as a child, yes. I mean, without question. But I've been in other situations where, possibly people or persons died as a result of me defending myself in other countries.
How long was that pause, guys? I watched this video before. That was a long pause, huh? That was a little too long for a no. You know what I mean?
There's no count on that, and there's no photos but that was something as a kid without a doubt. Yeah.
Do you think that you've killed people as an adult?
Does it matter?
Yeah, I'd say so.
Why?
Like killing.
This guy was made to be a politician. Have you ever taken someone's life? Does it matter? Yeah, I would say it matters. Why? He doesn't even know why. I can't. He's gonna be the governor. He's gonna be the governor. This is so crazy. Oh my god. He's gonna be the governor. Have you killed people? I don't know. Does it matter? I think it does. Why? My God. Okay.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Why?
Like killing somebody is a pretty weighty thing.
If someone's trying to kill you or you're in combat?
It's still a weighty thing to take somebody else's life. I mean, it could be self-defense, it could be justified, but it's still a weighty thing. So I'm just asking you, how many people have you killed?
Well, if I did, I wouldn't be telling a reporter sitting here in my training center.
How about voters? Would you tell voters?
There's no need. I don't think that's important. It's actually it's an odd question to me.
It's an odd question. They once asked a politician whether or not he inhaled weed smoke, and they made it the biggest story, and everyone understood why. Everyone got it. He's getting asked if he's killed a guy as an adult, because you need to separate those two things, child to adult, right? And he's just like, these are odd questions. Well, you're an odd guy. What do you expect?
It's funny you describe it as an odd question because you actually talk about the idea of killing people with some frequency, and why it's a necessary thing to do, killing people. You said on NRA TV in 2017, now a lot of them just got to be killed. I've had them shoot at me and I had to shoot back. There's a time and place to eliminate the enemy, and you have to. You said on Jeff Lerner's podcast in 2025, some people have to get killed. Some people have to die. But it's an odd question to ask you how many people you've killed.
Yes.
Okay.
That's how it ends. Yes. Wow. Victor Marks, ladies and gentlemen. Victor Marks. Wow. Just a very incredible guy. Just such an interesting person, you know? Doesn't want to answer the question, has quotes of him talking about it, and then he's just like, I don't know.
Is there a part?
I don't want to answer. I don't know. He's gonna be like, can I do a retooling prayer on you, son? I just see so many demons around you. Can I just for a second? He's like, actually, you know what? I don't really need a retooling prayer. Victor just goes, black tar starts falling out of his mouth. Eyes go black. Comes out of his eyes. You know, I'm just kidding. Just paraphrasing. Friend of the show, Victor Marks. Who made this? Who made this picture? Lisa MP 690. Absolutely ridiculous picture. We move on to the next story here. We'll go through this one quickly. Just to give you an idea of what it's about. You know, we have apparently Gary going in. Screen share audio, blah, blah, blah. Reset your browser if this continues. I think we're okay. We have Gary here, and friend of the show, by the way. Really close friend, you know. Likes me so much he wanted to try and figure out where I live so he can show people. That's how much he likes me. Great guy. Gary here. And I don't know why you would do that to someone like me. I do nothing but promote him in a good way. I think everybody can see that here. I've done nothing but good things for this gentleman. I think that's very clear. I think that's very, very clear. Been very nice. Always been here for him, right? I don't know what this picture is. It's just what he wore for one episode or something. I don't know. Anyway, we'll get into it. But I mean, there's just this weird back and forth going on between him and Elizabeth Lane. Not really sure why this is happening, but I mean, yeah, he comments on, Anna Kasparian and Candace doing their thing, which I found very interesting, that he had an issue with them sitting down together, talking about the horseshoe turns into a circle. That's not how the horseshoe theory works. You know, he doesn't know about that. Ian ends up getting at him saying, you don't really understand how this makes you look. We'll move on and get into the actual stuff with him and Elizabeth Lane. It's actually pretty crazy. People are saying that he's like a descendant of a Kandahar giant. I don't know where that's from. 3 rows of teeth I've heard, and that's why his head is so long. That's just what I've heard. I don't know who actually found that out. But apparently that's what happened after Special Ops took out a giant in Kandahar. There was a little giant baby, and they just didn't have the heart to get rid of the baby. This is just what I've heard. And they took the baby and they raised him as one of their own. And that's why he's so good at tactical training today. That's the story. That's just what I've heard. Anyway, so let's get into Let's get into this whole thing. So basically, can someone please explain why so many male influencers are completely obsessed with women like Candace Owens and Elizabeth Lane? Just take a look at Gary Melton, Paramount Tactical. He has tweeted about Elizabeth in the past 24 hours. This is obsessive level weird. Very interesting. Let's go to I want to go right to the beginning of this. So this is him. It's all about Candace. It's all about Elizabeth Lane. Then he does a whole thing on Elizabeth Lane, like a whole live stream. Yeah. Then he starts talking about Elizabeth Lane more. Even she points out the weirdness of the whole thing. He posts this, I found to be the weirdest, because this is like a picture. This is not like a cut off picture. If you click it, it stays as this. So he was like showing people this picture of her. Again, he already did this with somebody where he showed a past nude photo, and he had to apologize to the person, right? And if you had to apologize to the person, well, man, why are you doing it again? You're doing the same type of stuff. You know, someone said Gary's getting paid. I mean, I don't know. I do know when Candace Owens brought up those contracts that he received, it was just after Charlie Kirk passed away. Now, I'm not saying he had anything to do with what happened to Charlie, but I am saying that Charlie passed away. He got those contracts and then started his investigation into what happened to Charlie. And we can see by just waiting 9 months what side of things he's actually on. Anyway, just more about Elizabeth Lane. More about Elizabeth Lane. Yeah, even more about Elizabeth Lane. Elizabeth Lane again. Repost from Elizabeth Lane. More about Elizabeth Lane. This is pretty crazy. This is not even halfway done. Wow. I was like, maybe the video repeated itself. No, this is just more about Candace. You know, it just keeps going from Candace to Elizabeth Lane, a little bit of turning point. Hey man, where's the tactical training? Hey man, like you guys heard me inside of this live stream. I talked about real estate. I'm a real estate coach. Where is the tactical training? Where is it? Because I actually like that stuff. I would watch his, if he brought out a tactical video, I'd watch it. I like to watch that stuff. I like to know about that stuff. I actually, spent not the weekend, but I spent yesterday, the church family. One of the guys is actually what Gary says he is. This guy actually is. And he was telling me all about it. He's giving me a whole breakdown of how things work. And we were talking about the Charlie Kirk case. And he told me some interesting stuff, actually. I should actually talk about that. But where is the tactical stuff? Like, what happened? Where did it go? More about Elizabeth Lane. Another 20 seconds. More about Elizabeth Lane. So I guess Elizabeth Lane is on the menu in terms of people that need to get attacked. Before it was Barron. Now it's Elizabeth Lane. Right? More about Candace. More about Elizabeth Lane. More about Elizabeth Lane. Like, wow. Like a lot. But Elizabeth Lane, she has no problem with this. In fact, she welcomes it. In fact, they've gone into quite the back and forth over this whole thing. And I don't even know where it stems from. I can't even find where it all stems from. I think it stems from, well, I'll start here, right? This is just him talking about, the lying, personal attacks, disinformation, these Candace cultists use against you for pointing out the lies they spew, blah, blah, blah. Everybody knows it. The difference between them and Antifa is that Candace cult is far worse and more malicious. Okay, well, yeah, you should probably do a Google search on Antifa just a little bit. In comparison to the mommy sleuths, I mean, you should probably just do a Google search. So Elizabeth Lane, so still waiting for you. See you next Tuesday. Let's go. I saw you on my post. You better say yes. We have a lot to discuss. You come after me. Oh, you will get what you want. So this is her saying that to him. This is a message that she sent him. She says, hey, see you next Tuesday. I've heard you've been running your mouth and I saw it. Jeez. Anyway, glad you, and see you next Tuesday. You know what that means, right? Glad you did. I've wanted to have you on my show for the longest time. I've seen Since I've heard some interesting things about you, I can't wait to talk. I'm waiting for your preferred time and date next week. Give it so I can lock it down. I'll answer every single question you have, every single one of them. But in return, you answer every single one of my questions. I hate a keyboard warrior. I fight like a man. If you want to talk to me, you talk to me directly. B-I-C-T-A, B-I-T-C-H. Jeez, she's not playing around. So she comes at him pretty hard. She wants to know what's going on. She still is coming at him. She's like, hey, little man, you were challenged to present proof on that screenshot you posted. Where are you running to? Why not show us full screenshot? Come up, P word. Where did you go, little man? Show us the full screenshot, coward. What? Is that a no? I mean, nothing worse. I have to say, nothing worse than European women. You know, like she's not Russian. She's like from Jordan or something. They always, it's not a regular thing that women in North America do. But European women will be like, oh, you're a coward. Oh, wow. I did not tell. I thought you were a man and I see you're a coward. Wow. They always use the word coward. And it's like, that gets to guys because we're not cowards. Georgia. Yeah, Georgia. I don't know how to say that. There's the word. That's where she's from. They always say the word coward. And you're like, don't call me a coward. Oh my gosh. I did not realize you were sissy man. I thought you were a big man because you're 5'11", 6 foot. But it turns out you're like little girl. Wow. So coward. And you're just like, what the hey, man. Hey, relax. Oh, I don't know. What are you going to do? You are a coward. You're a small man. There's probably nothing you can do to me. I am woman. I probably push you over if I want to. And you're just like, this is crazy. You know, North American women don't talk like that. They'll call you names and stuff, but they don't go at your heart like that. They don't go after your manhood like that. It's so different. It's so hurtful. This is just the word coward. It's like, geez, come on. You know, she's kind of right in this situation. At least the classy propagandist, she puts the mouth in mouthpiece. That's all Gary has to say back. That's not enough. That's not enough. You've woken something up in this lady. I'm sorry. She says, look at this P word hiding behind the military label. I still haven't heard a clear answer. See you next Tuesday. Jeez. You asked for attention. Let me see here. You asked for attention and now you've got it. Do you still have balls? So that's exactly what a European lady would say. Do you still have them? Or look, she even said it. I was going to make a joke. She actually said it. Do you still have balls? Or were they shot off by enemy fire? You seem D-list all of a sudden. Jeez. That's the kind of stuff they do. Oh, do you still have them? I don't know. I mean, it seems like you have there's no sack to you. Is it just, you just have the appendage flaccid and there's no sack to you? That's why your testosterone's so low? That's why you're a coward. Oh my gosh. Jeez. Let's keep going here. Then she said, oh yeah. She keeps going. This is the little man. You had to prove what you had said, you coward, blah, blah, blah. And she keeps going. What's she going at? Oh, and then Gary says, seriously, who talks like this? See, he's getting it. See, an American, a man in North America is just like, hey, whoa, hey, who talks like this? For the young women out there, FYI, no respectable man wants a woman like this. Oh, God, come on, Gary. You're not teaching people about who to end up with. Didn't you get divorced once, buddy? You got divorced in Texas once. This is how you end up dying childless and alone. Your beauty should not come outward. Your beauty should not come outward adornment. Oh, you're quoting I'm not reading anything that he quotes from the Bible. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. This guy does not read the Bible. Okay. This guy's not a Christian. There's no way. He might be. Doesn't seem like it to me though. With what he's willing to do and how he's willing to do it to people. No. For the young women out there, when a man sells out his country and his honor like Gary has and goes after someone like Candace, who's trying to uncover the truth about something that happened to an incredible man who was a national treasure and was going to do amazing things, do not call men like Gary anything else other than what they are, a F. See you next Tuesday. Jeez, don't talk. Oh my gosh, Elizabeth. Don't talk to see you next Tuesdays the same way. Let me see. The same way you talk to heroes. Jeez. Words exist for a reason. Call trash what it is, trash, and never shy away from calling men like Gary a see you next Tuesday. Good gosh. Never take advice from a man who runs away from a debate. Gary, you are a clown and a very boring one. We are done here. P word. Goodness, my goodness. I mean, Elizabeth. And then somebody says, blah, blah, blah. Okay, yeah, they're looking into Elizabeth Lane now. They start talking about her. This is like way too much. Then they start tagging the CIA, FBI, Marco Rubio. Exactly what Jigsaw was doing with Candace, they're now doing with her. Let me keep going here. Let me see if that was in response to anything. Oh, it was. Okay. And then he just said, that's some audacity. Some foul-mouthed immigrant who has done zero for this country while pushing Russian propaganda wants to call me a 4-time combat vet that I've sold out my country. Well, I mean, yeah, not the government. He definitely hasn't sold out the government. Yeah. Domestic civilians, perhaps. My family has sacrificed more. He has a long line of military people in his family. My family has sacrificed more than you know, so you can enjoy the luxury and freedoms my brothers in arms have provided you. I mean, he was just making fun of one of his, brother in arms. He was just going at Valhalla just the other day. He made a whole video about him. I mean, he's just one of these people, man. He's one of these mouthpieces now where it's like they do the things that they talk about constantly and they have no problem doing it. So he says that. Then he says, who is Elizabeth Lane? He starts looking into her. It's a whole thing. She's pro-Russian, pro-Putin, et cetera, et cetera. What is clearly now a Russian malign influence operation attempting to subvert the Trump administration. Hey, man, is Trump a puppet of Russia or is Russia working against Trump? Pick one, man. You don't get both. See, Gary hasn't been here long enough. He forgot. He doesn't even know what the talking points used to be. He forgot. Like no one sent him the memo and said, hey, man, this is what people have said about Trump's administrations, him in general, is that he's controlled by Russia. He forgot. He doesn't even know. No one gave him. He wasn't on board at that time. While we were making videos trying to get that guy in office, where was Gary? Gary wasn't even around. He wasn't even around. He was doing tactical training. He wasn't even around. He doesn't know about that part. Are you kidding me? He has no clue about that part. Wasn't there. So he completely forgot. You can't say that there's a Russian op because the Russian op was Trump. That's what it was. That was the talking point they were using against us for the longest time. And we had to make videos to combat it and figure out the holes. And are you kidding me? Guys, remember, he wasn't there, man. He wasn't there. He wasn't there in the trenches when we were doing that. When we were getting called maggots. Oh, when you were MAGA and you were getting called maggot. Oh, he wasn't there, man. He wasn't there. Someone said Gary trained Officer Tatum. Elizabeth Langdon says this moron creating a good case for us to sue down Debbie. I hope you are taking all of this in. Screenshots are already sent to Aaron. So now something's going on with the lawsuit. I mean, they're just going back and forth. This back and forth has been nuts. Gary, I have to talk to your wife now. You're too obsessed with me, little redhead. Does she know you dream about me when you go to sleep? This is getting crazy. He's like, oh, she's seething at this point, blah, blah, blah. She's calling him the P word. She's like, Gary, are you still talking, buddy? Sit down, coward. P word. She spells it wrong because, you have to spell it a certain way for it to get by on X. The whole thing is just crazy. This is what happens, I guess. Candace didn't have time. Elizabeth was like, I have all the time in the world. She's like, no problem. I got this. Then she's saying, Gary, make all the excuses that you want. You started attacking me. I think I've ignored it long enough. Too bad for you, buddy. I don't ignore people like you. I destroy them. Now, one more time, you have a chance to sit down and debate. Are you still going to run? Great. Let the record show Gary is going to run like the others before him. Yeah, well, it's true. And he's like, I'm obsessed with you. I mean, Gary loves this. I mean, come on. Then she actually shows how much he's talking. My mic's working just fine. This is just her. Oh yeah, for some reason it's not working. Why is it not working? Let me see if I reset this. It actually told me this was happening, but I didn't need it at the time. Can you hear it now? Some people say they can hear it. Other people say they cannot hear it. So Mike Riley, can you hear it? But other people can't hear it for some reason. But you can hear my mic, obviously. Can hear you, not the video. Yeah, exactly. Okay. Oh, I hear faint talking. Okay. Silence is violence. And then some people can hear it after it resets. Yeah, I don't know. That's weird. But basically, she's basically calling Gary a rat and saying that he's obsessed with her. It's nothing super important. Nothing super important. But just the back and forth is just crazy to watch. Like they're just going back and forth. It's just really, really kind of low down, kind of going at each other. And we'll see where it ends up. I don't know. That was like this is some of the last things that they said was just so much name calling and see you next Tuesday. I don't even have to go through all this. This is getting to be a lot now. But basically, Gary gets handed. I mean, the whole time she's just saying, hey, debate me. And the last thing that Gary ends up saying is just like, she's exposed because he ran an analyst through Super Grok of her and then just copy and paste it into his post. And that's supposed to be him owning Elizabeth, exposing Elizabeth, so that was Gary's retort. He exposed her by going to ChatGPT, doing one simple thing, and then all of a sudden he's like, that's it, I win. Yeah, Danks put out a short video. I saw that video. Danks put out a video where he was just talking about Elizabeth Lane, and he was just like, Gary didn't do one Google. Now Danks was saying this in response to Gary's live stream. Gary did a whole live stream just on her, And he didn't actually look into anything in regards to her at all. Didn't check anything. So, and then Elizabeth is actually in the video and she's saying all the same things that I've read to you, and she's going very hard. So Gary kind of ran from the debate, which you would expect. He's not going to do a debate with her. She knows a lot. She's very fiery. She's pissed as well. He's not going to be able to handle that whole thing. So I don't know. It's just pretty crazy. Can you guys hear this? Tell me if you can hear this. It's so weird. Anyway, it doesn't matter anyway. I was done the stories. We're already 2.5 hours in, so I have to get to the supers. We have to get to the coffees because I do have a meeting in about half an hour. What is that? Oh, the kids are coming in. They're screaming. Anyway, let's jump into the supers. Supers first. Do the coffees after. Let's jump into these supers. Let's check these supers out. Did everyone hear Baron mention Blake is bald, fat, drunk, dumbass? I was dying. Coach, check IG. Marks gets worse. Yeah, I've been seeing some weird stuff about Marks. I think I saw one video of his daughter talking about stuff, and I was just like, oh gosh, this is getting like talking about things that he's done. I don't know. It's wild. His kids don't like him. You can definitely say that much. Blake Neff is bad. Illegitimate son, bald Blake. And yeah, Baron said that the reason he said fat is because at the time when he was doing all that stuff, when it came to all that online anonymous troll stuff, he was like a pretty big guy. He's lost the weight recently. I don't know if it's recent or in the past year. I don't know. Y'all tell me, could you read the note? Because I couldn't. I zoomed in. Also, this is the same summit where Erica Kirk goes against Charlie's belief on women staying home and to raise babies, shut him down. Yeah, it is. That's why I want to revisit it, because I've tried to talk about it before. And I don't have the exact wording of what was said, but I'm going to check it out for sure. My dad said money is something you need if you don't die today. Interesting. Yeah. And this is Christy, super famous dad. Yeah, money's something you need if you're alive. And even then, we usually think we need more of it than we actually do, you know? Rebecca Myers, could Blake be the guy with EK at Fort Wakuki on the 8th? Fort Huachuca? I don't know. That would be a hard mistaking, just because Blake is bald and Brian Harple is not bald, right? Brian Harple has a full head of hair, whereas Blake has no hair, you know? Can you turn... Oh, let me just do this. Can you turn the air off, please? It is so cold. It is crazy. Please, love you. It is so cold. People are always like, what are you, cold? Yeah, I am actually. I'm freezing most of the time. It's like when Isaac Hayes quit the show and they used his voice to make Chef become a child. Wow. Really? I didn't know that. I had no idea that's what happened with Chef. Isaac Hayes quit the show. I thought Isaac Hayes died, and then that's how they got rid of him. That's what I thought happened. That's nuts. Personally, I'm deeply affected by the asinine persuasion, Blakey tripping, or straight as a circle. Oh man, straight as a circle. That's actually a good one. Coach, I tagged you in a new Marks video on the X. I need you to pull it up. Well, what do you tag me? Where? You say on X? New Marks video? What is this video going to be? It's so hard to find because so many people send me videos. You have no idea. Like I have like 40 notifications right now. So it's too hard. No, I can't find it. I won't be able to find it. I won't be able to find it right now. You tagged me on it? Are you sure you tagged me? I don't know. No, we'll see. And it's a new Marks video. I don't know. I'll check it out. If anything, I'll find it tomorrow. I don't see anything. I don't actually see anything from you in actuality. And there's nothing on Instagram either, unless I check my message requests. Yeah, there's just so many requests. You have no idea. There are so many that roll in like every few hours. It's nuts. But I'll look for it. I'll look for it more. Anyone heard from Fleet? No one has heard from Fleet. Nobody. At least no one that I know of. But again, well, you're probably someone that doesn't have X. If you have X, you can message people. You can just hop over there. I'm telling you. I had no subscribers. I messaged Jimmy Dore. He answered me. You can just message anybody. Just jump on X. But if you don't have it, it's very hard to reach out to people. I've noticed that the people constantly accusing others of betrayal while abroad are usually the ones doing sneaky, yucky things while traveling. Yeah, right? Or they have friends that like go to Romania and then get booted out, right? She could have staged a live each day instead. Who, Candace? Yeah, she could have. She could have easily. She could have easily done that. For sure. Stage the live stream if she wanted to. Yeah, if she was, yeah, okay, I know what you're saying. If she was going to be sneaky about it, yeah, she could have done that. She could have been like, hey guys, happy Wednesday. And she could have got into the whole thing. She could have just done that day after day after day if she wanted to. But she didn't. So I doubt she's a Russian spy, That's because Ben's security are his handlers. Yeah. A lot of times people, I always say this like about the president, because the president gets security afterwards. They get Secret Service forever. And the reason is not because they want that person protected, it's because they become handlers. They don't want them going abroad or going here, or going there. They don't want all that. Because it's like, who knows what's going to happen? Maybe you're going to sell secrets. You got $1 billion worth of secrets. Maybe you'll just disappear. We don't want you to disappear. We want to know where you are at all times. They're not trying to protect them. At a certain point, I think Joe Rogan's going through something like that too. All of his guys are ex-military. All of them. So he has like a SEAL Team 6 just running around with him all the time, right? Obviously, I don't know if they're that stature, but you know what I mean? Like he has a whole team of guys. And at a certain point, it's like, those guys kind of control you a little bit, because they could just be like, oh, I want to go here. And they go, oh, there's a threat there. You can't go there. You know what? There's a whole bunch of threats. You got to stay in your house for the next 24 hours. They could do that. You'd have to fire them, of course. Please keep doing imitations. Spot on every time. Of course. Thank you so much. Those won't stop. Never thought I'd be an imitation guy, but I take to it. Test tube, baby. I'm dying. Love all the laughs, coach. Keep us smiling. Yeah, that guy, what his name? David Harris Jr. or whatever his name is. That guy was made. That guy wasn't born. Coach, why the Philadelphians not like Russia? Because Russia's super Christian. They are unapologetically Christian, Orthodox Christian, in fact. So they don't like that. Yeah. Evangelicals are very much just like, I was going to make a joke. I was going to say bended and twisted, pulled and pushed. And I was going to say bent and then like bent over, I was going to make a joke. Very crude, but it's true, right? They get to a point where they're just like, we have to love these people, honor these people. In fact, when you see one of them, you gotta pull out some good massage oil. You gotta rub their feet. I mean, this is, the Bible tells us that if you see a Philadelphian, you have to rub his feet. I mean, I've seen it in John. You know what I'm talking about, right, Frank? Oh, that's right, Rob. If you see one of them, if they spit on you, it's good luck. Everybody knows that. Even Charlie was doing it, just so you guys know. It's like, what the hell are you guys talking about? So Russia's not like that. Russia doesn't buy into all that. So, Russia is full of Tartarian buildings. Yes, it is. For those of you who don't know, like Tartarian, just people who had, I don't know, technological skills beyond what the time would beyond what it would make sense in the time of it. Like in the 1700s, building like some of the buildings that you see this a lot in, we're talking about Russia, but you can see it a lot in America where there is a government building and it's like, where state level government happens. And it's this extravagant, crazy, insane building. And then you're like, when was this made? And they're like, 1810. And you're like, 1810? How the hell did they build this in 1810? And they're like, they got scaffolds and they just, and a lot of people don't believe that. A lot of people aren't buying that because it's just too well done. And it's like, why wouldn't you keep on making things this well if you could? Why didn't that keep on going and get easier and easier and faster and faster and better? Instead, for some reason, it reverted and the construction got worse and everything got worse and technology got worse. And there's like a society of people where the Tartarians, where they were almost like modern day, quote unquote, modern day Atlanteans. That's what it's kind of like. We should talk about that at some point. Victor Marks, El Paso Town Hall at 26 minutes jokes about rescuing elderly and housing them until they die for the money. Same thing Tyler Boyer's done. Tyler Boyer's done that? I've never heard that about Tyler before. Victor Marks has done. He jokes about it. That's on brand. That's on brand for what we've seen so far, for sure. That is definitely on point. Town Hall, El Paso Town Hall. I should check that out. El Paso Town Hall. He jokes about it. And then what you do is you just keep them. You keep them until they pass away, and then they send you the money. They send you checks. Anyway, the reason you should vote for me is what? Oh my gosh. Anyway, your nerd voice sounds exactly like who? Stiltskin from Shrek. From Shrek. Oh, I haven't seen Shrek before. My wife would know that. I'll tell my wife. My wife will know exactly what that is. She'll tell me. Coach, you nailed the white-black bit. I was born in France from two Western African parents. And when we visited family there, they knew I wasn't one of them. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. That happens. That happens when you have stuff like that. Like I went to Barbados once. My mom's from Barbados. I had to go there once. My grandmother died. Her mom died. And I remember I was a fat kid. I was like 14. I was like really big. And right away, yeah, they know by the voice, but then also like the women would be like, oh, they don't make them like you. They don't make them like you here, boy. Oh, look at you. How you get so big? It's like, what the fuck? I'm 13, man. Why are you talking to me like this? Oh, they don't make them like here. Like, they don't make people like you here, boy. Oh, man. How you get so big, boy? And it's like, why are you? I'm a kid. They don't care. They'll call you out quick. Like they're ashamed. Use Google to translate for Russian to English. Nah, I'm not doing all that. I don't care what she said. She's just saying silly things just to mess with Jigsaw, Coach, check out the RTTV post on X where you'll find the translation. They posted that particular interaction between Candace and Jigsaw in translation. It's really funny. Well, I mean, now you tell me that. That's a little easier. Let's see here. Is it the first thing that pops up? No way. No way that's the first thing that pops up. Okay, it's not. They posted that interaction. Well, I mean, that has it confirmed then. Candace is working with them. Done. I can't find that post. Did you tag me in it? I won't be able to find it that fast. Nah. But I'll check it out. Thank you for telling me. It's crazy how in tune they are. Joe, you and Zach had a great rap battle, but Tatum and his mama versus Gangster George would be outstanding. Thanks for the daily laughs jokes. Coach, Crisis King indeed. Thank you so much. That would a rap battle between Tatum and Gangster George. I mean, Tatum might just like wipe the floor with Gangster George. I don't know. He's from Texas, Dallas, Fort Worth. You know about Fort Worth? Harpole High, please. What is this Garrison Project from San Diego? It's Giovanni. Giovanni, what's going on? As you can see, I don't have time to say hi or anything like that. I'm trying to sue Candace. These Philadelphians have me suing Candace. It looks like I'm going to lose the case. So what we did, we got Gary talking about the case. Hopefully Gary somehow, oh man, my only option is Gary. So hopefully Gary somehow can convince everyone that I actually have a lawsuit here. Okay. Cause it's getting real bad. It's getting real sticky. Okay. We've ran out of mints. We ran out of guys. We ran out of mints. You know, me and that guy that does tactical training, we were talking about, he was telling me about CPR, and he was breaking down, he was poking holes in the story that was said about Charlie Kirk, because he was, that was crazy. I don't know what the hell I'm seeing on my screen. He was talking about how CPR, and I didn't notice it. I didn't know this. He's like, it's made to build up pressure in a person. He's like, so them saying that they were giving CPR doesn't make any sense. He was like breaking it all down for me. He's like, they did the wrong thing. He's like, I think, he's like, if they didn't get that hole plugged, you give CPR. He's like, there's no pressure that can be built because you have that hole still. And I was like, well, they said they put gauze in. He's like, you know how much they would have to put in. He's like, those guys didn't have enough. You know, he's like, from what I could see, they didn't have enough. Like he is literally a professional in that entire thing, from Charlie getting hit to getting him off the X to actually clodding him up and everything. Like he knows the whole thing. And he was like, that story doesn't make any sense. He's like, none of that story makes any sense. Ames, he's actually a teacher of it. And when I say he's like a tactical training teacher, I don't mean that he makes Candace Owens videos all the time and argues with Elizabeth Lane online. He actually just teaches that stuff. It's just not right. I feel so bad for Colorado. Oh, for what? Because of Victor? Come on. I mean, they could not vote for him. The fact that anybody's even considering voting for him is crazy. That's crazy to me. Check if the reporter is still alive. Yeah, right. He's like, you're in my tactical train. You're in my training center. I don't know. You know, I could whoop you. I could whoop you right now. And nobody'd even know. You know that? You know who Corby Hall is? Were you sent here by Corby Hall? Eyes roll back in his head. Yeah. Is Elizabeth single? She'd make one heck of a wife. I don't know. She has an ex-husband, so she might be single still. I have no idea. Coach, Victor Marks did a press conference and said, actually, my body count is so high, it can't be calculated, actually. No way he said that. No way he said that. No, absolutely no way he said that. Come on, get out of here. I could believe it, though. Yeah, very late, but I'm dying over the South Park Charlie Kirk. Oh my gosh, that was a wild detour we took there with South Park, guys. That was a wild detour. Coach, just wanted to say hi, and I appreciate you. I appreciate you too. You bring joy into my life. Thank you. That's very sweet. Thank you so much. What's your name? Madeline. Thank you so much, Madeline. Appreciate you. Let's keep going here. Mama needed to hear it today. Man, you know it's hard out here for a giant. You know that song? Have you heard that song? I don't know who wrote that song. I have no clue who wrote that song. It wasn't me. It wasn't me. I wouldn't write a song like that. Gary's a friend of the show. All right, let's get into these coffees real quick. What's going on here? Let's check out the coffees. 601 supporters. Thank you very much for that, guys. We do appreciate the coffee support. It is very, very important. Mikey Riley. I saw you on Instagram. I followed you on Instagram. I was like, oh man, this guy's out there. As soon as I saw all your posts, like I went back a bit too. I was like, oh, this guy's out there. I'm like, that's why he gets along on the show. He's out there. Mama, we ain't never going to Russia. That witch of a lady, Candace, said they don't spit on you out there. You know I love being spat on, mama. Oh, baby, when those people spat on you, that was not a good thing, baby. Oh, mama, what you talking about? That's chosen spit. Chosen spit, the best kind of spit, mama. What you talking about? It's only one time. Oh, baby, that used to happen to us all the way back in the 50s. And it was a terrible thing to happen, baby. Oh, mama, what you telling me right now? Oh, baby, you slow as all get out. I'm so sorry I ain't learned you better. You know, they have a tender moment. Megan says, just out of curiosity, does anyone else suspect Candace may be following in Tucker's footsteps and coming back with an interview? Just a thought. Love you, coach. God bless. Yeah, maybe that I don't know anything about this Dugan guy. Alexander Dugan. I don't know any. I think that's how you say his name. I'm not even sure. I don't know anything about him, but it seems like she's gravitating towards interviewing him. I don't think she'd come back with a Putin interview. I'd be very surprised if that was the case. I think she might come back with an interview like that, or maybe even an Orthodox priest, like a Russian Orthodox priest. That might. I could definitely see that happening because you have the option, or maybe it's just a vacation and just speaking and that's it. Maybe she just comes back with a speech that'll be uploaded. But I think for sure, yeah, you're right that there's some kind of interview going on there. Something. Coach, I wanted to know, over the last couple of weeks, you talking about podcasting journey and the path you took with the job interview, quitting, Uber Eats, etc., multiple times. Your words of putting faith in the universe, in God, well, in God, not the universe. It's like it's like you want a house built and you put your faith into the house. You put your faith into the guy that builds the houses. They were the final piece of the puzzle I needed to hear to inspire my husband and my's journey to start working for ourselves. We are so excited and terrified. At 42 and 48, we are not going to have a steady paycheck coming in, but already things are aligning, and truly, you sharing your story convinced me to make the leap. I'll update later. Thank you for being authentic and real. Yours is the first podcast I sub to, and I enjoy listening daily. Congrats on the baby, and hello to Miss Coach Colin. That's amazing. Good for you. Good for you. It's hard. When someone said God is the universe. No, you're wrong. Okay. Yeah, good. Anyway, let's keep talking about this. So that is good. That is very good. And God makes the universe. Again, you're like a person that walks up and I'm like, oh man, I got to talk to the guy who built the house. And then the person looks at you and goes, the guy who built the house is the house, bro. Don't you know the guy who builds the houses is the house, man? Come on, bro. Like, no, there's a guy who builds the houses. there's a guy who creates the houses, actually. But yeah, that's a big thing, and I'm glad that you're doing it. And it's gonna be hard, but like you said, things start aligning. And the way that I would always think of it, especially when you're wrong, Cali lifestyle. Oh, that's why, right? You're in California. Okay, that makes sense then. Never mind. Continue on, California, with your California talk. I love California, by the way. I like making fun of it too. Yeah, it's really hard, but things do align. And I always used to think about it like this. Whenever I would go into a job, or if I would take a leap of faith, work for myself like I did, I would always think about where I was, like if I was working a job, and where I could be in this job, in this position, in this company in 10 years. And if I didn't like where that could lead, then I looked at it as not that I would just drop everything and quit right away, but I'd be like, okay, well, then there's something else I'm supposed to do. If I don't like where that brings me in the future, then I probably shouldn't be there. You don't want to just walk into the slaughter kind of thing, right? And then when I looked at, this whole thing that I did, and I did take a leap of faith, I looked at it and said, where could I be in 10 years? And I liked what I saw. So I went for it. And, you should look at that too. Like, where could you be in 10 years if you guys did this? instead. And that makes taking the leap of faith easier, because you could take a leap of faith. If you don't like where you are, then you should take a leap of faith, some kind of leap of faith, even if it's to another job, right? It doesn't always have to be entrepreneurship, but even if it's to another job, why not take the leap and check it out and just see what happens. And the other thing I did when I took a leap of faith, I was like, I could always get another job. Like I know it's hard to get a job sometimes. Sometimes the market's just certain times a year, it's just saturated. But you could, for the most part, you can always go back to what you were doing in some way, shape, or form, or at least get another job where you're getting the same type of money. But you can't always follow what you want to do in terms of your dreams. You can't always do that. So good for you. Good for you. Keep doing it. Update us. I hope everything goes well. What do you do, by the way? Tell us what you do. Anyone else having issues with parents only believe the furry Tyler Robinson narrative? Mind you, this is coming from a dad who completely believes the deep state and supposedly doesn't trust the mainstream media. All of a sudden, he thinks the president is now in office, all is good, and he is playing chess. He said there is no way the alphabet agencies are in on it. I told him I don't think everyone is, just certain people. Just certain people in those groups are. The best place to start is to go through the military. He thinks I have lost it. He isn't on social media and he doesn't see the lies, etc. My dad doesn't have patience to watch every single podcast. Of course, I don't even have patience to watch every single podcast. It's my job. So I have no idea where to start. He doesn't believe the Philly angle because either the Bible says, I just don't know what to do or how to approach this. Every time I bring out a fact, he says, I trust the president and what he says about war and the Charlie Kirk case, etc. He hasn't said anything about the Charlie Kirk case. The president hasn't said a word, really, nothing about the investigation. It has been frustrating because we are seeing things too different. We are seeing two-way different things. We have always been so close and always on the same side. It's been sad. We will be okay. I just hate feeling like I'm the crazy one. Lots of prayers for his discernment and my patience. I don't know, man. Like when it comes to stuff like that, I mean, why not just not talk about it? It's your dad. There's other things to talk about. If I had a dad right now, because my dad's gone, if I had a dad, I'd ask him about like serving in the Air Force or like becoming a paratrooper. And if he was scared, I would ask him about life in Jamaica and why he left, what made him take that leap of faith. I'd ask him why did he leave one lady and then go be with my mom and then have me, and why did he like break up two families? Why did he do that? I would ask how he deals with I would ask so many different things. There's so many other things you can talk to your parents about. It seems like what's interesting, it seems like we would rather talk to our parents and have these conversations about like politics and stuff, but there's like so many deeper things to talk to your parents about that you could have a conversation about. Like, who cares about in the grand scheme of things, right? I assume your dad is old, right? He's not going to be there forever, and when he's gone, he's gone. So like, why don't you just talk about the things that matter? You don't have to talk about this, especially that he's not willing to see anything. He's not willing to see things your way. He's not willing to, he trusts the president. Let him trust the president. Who cares? It's fine. Let him trust the president. Let him feel that way. I don't know. And just have conversations about other things. Ask him what it was like growing up. Why don't you ask him, hey, dad, what's 3 things before you die that you would like for me to know about you and about life? That'd be a great conversation to have. I wish I could do that with my dad. I wish I did that. I never did anything like that. I would do that instead. Who cares about Tyler Robinson when it comes to your father? Talk about other stuff. Cheryl, they should be able to track Erica's plan to see if she was at the hotel that day. P.S. I think Candace is adding to her family. Everyone thinks Candace is pregnant. I haven't seen anyone that doesn't think Candace is pregnant. Everybody thinks she's pregnant. I don't know. I get what people mean. Like she wears certain shirts and certain, certain clothing. I don't know though. I feel like she'd be open about it. Hasn't she always been open about being pregnant? I don't know. I could be wrong, but maybe she is. Maybe, I mean, wouldn't surprise me. They seem like they want to have a lot of kids. They're already at four kids. So I would definitely, of course. Like someone said, you're making me cry over here. Why? Because of the dad advice? Oh yeah, man, go talk to your parents about stuff. It's so much better. Talk to your parents about politics. Who cares? Cares what they think politically? What? Who cares? Ask them what they want to do before they die. Ask them if they have any regrets. Do you regret it and not pursuing anything? Yeah. Or you can ask them, what do you think I'm the best at? What do you think I'm the best at? Where do you think I shine the most? That's such a good question to ask people. I used to have people ask that question of people in their family when I was coaching people. I would ask a bunch of people, where do you shine the most? Ask them where you shine the best and see what everybody says, Have fun with stuff like that. Who cares about the politics and stuff? Yeah. You have those debates with your friend because you can have you can have good faith debates and, laugh it off, drink, smoke, chill out afterwards. But, with your parents, it gets all weird. Who cares what they think about that particular thing? I was watching Daily Fredo with Cassia on YouTube. She was talking about how there seems to be a huge distance between Erica Kirk and her parents. Like they don't seem to have anything to do with her, nor does she speak about them much when she talks about family. It was a pretty good episode. She went on to talk about who Charlie Kirk's parents are, and one interesting mention was Charlie Kirk's dad was a donor to Mitt Romney's campaign back when he ran for president. That would be so messed up considering what Candace is finding out about Mint and Philly. Well, I mean, you should go check out what Charlie Kirk's dad built in a Trump Tower. If you think that's pretty crazy, go check out what he built in Trump Tower. Oh man, I don't even know if I have that video anymore. What he built in Trump Tower is insane. It's crazy. He's an architect. You should go check it out. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy, But yeah, you're right. She doesn't talk about them at all. I should check out that video. She doesn't talk about them at all. It seems like they don't talk about her, or they don't talk, period. It seems like there's no link. There's no talk about the children going to see their grandparents, or how much she values his parents, or how thankful she is to his parents. Nothing. It's very weird. Very weird. Maybe they don't like her. Maybe they were like, hey, you should be with a younger lady. I don't know. Who knows how they felt? Maybe they didn't like her. Maybe they saw what everybody else saw and they were like, I don't like this lady for you, Charlie. Who knows? I not buying you a cup of coffee. I'm buying your baby a bottle or baby food or toy so that he will not cry. I don't know if that'll help. We'll see. We'll give it a try. Big Goy Paloy, I had no idea what to do with myself on Friday. Your absence was beyond noticed. You have brought more to my chaotic life I don't share with the chat than you will ever know. You and your community helped save my sanity and give me a little tribe of sorts. Thank you for everything you do and everything you don't realize you do. Oh, thank you so much. Really appreciate that. Really, really appreciate that. Thank you so much. And right back at you. That always happens. Yeah, I was actually gonna take the day off, right? Because I've been thinking about doing that, Monday to Thursday thing, right? Take some of the pressure off. And I had these pre-recorded videos ready to go. And then I was waking up and I was like, you know what? I think I am just going to live stream. I'm like, why not? I'm like, I'm up. I feel good. I'm like, I'll just, I'll do my little exercise real quick that I always do. I'll burn 500 calories, whatever. And then I'll just get to it. And I was like, you know what? I will do that. It was like 7 a.m. And I'm like, you know what? I am going to do that. I'm like, yeah. I'm so awake. I feel so good today. And then 7:15, I like laid down for a little bit. And then 7:15, the kid is just like, my stomach hurts. And we're just like, don't worry about it, baby. You're fine. You're fine. And then also you're, we're like, oh no. Me and the wife, oh God, oh. So I got the baby, I'm running over to the sink, and the baby just starts throwing up. She just starts going. She's like, and it stinks, but it doesn't even bother you when you're a parent. It's weird how that sense goes away. One of my friends throws up and I'll throw up. My kid throws up and I'm just like, all right, let's make sure it's not blood. You're just focused on that. And then more throw up. And then if there was any more, we were going to go to the hospital. So I was like, you know what? I got to just sit and wait. Because if I was streaming, if I decided to stream that day and then all of a sudden my wife comes in and says, something bad's happening, I wouldn't even turn everything off. I would just leave. So I didn't want to do that. So I was like, I got to just sit here and wait to see if the kid's all right. And she was fine, but just, man, she just started throwing up. It was nuts. Yeah, I had to make that sound in your ears so you understood that throw up sound. But yeah, I was just about to. I'm like, you know what? I will actually. I am gonna go live stream. I'm like, yeah, I feel good. I'm like, oh gosh. I'm just holding the kid over the sink like that. I'm just like, all right, here you go. Here you go. Just right in there. Right in there. Just, this is all down the drain. I just had to sit there and just, So then I was just like, we're just going to sit and watch this kid for a while. And then I had to run out. I ran out and got like, I didn't even know you could give kids gravel. There's kid gravel. So I went and got that. I went and got probiotics. I went and got just crackers. I went and got Pedialyte. I went and got everything just in case. I wasn't going to like give her everything at once or something, but I was like, just in case. I'm like, I don't know what to do. Like, I've never gone through this as a dad. I'm like, okay, just get everything. I was like, I don't know. I don't know what to do. So I'm like, I'm just going to get everything and just sit here and just wait. It's very weird stuff. They had all sorts of stuff now. So anyway, Mike Riley, let's jump over to Mike Riley really quick. Mama. Okay. That was, I was about to read it again. So that is it for, and I'll double check. Of course, we always have to double check. Double check the another one came in. Edible Glitter, aka Steven. Here's a thought on Charlie Kirk's parents not speaking or being seen or talking about Erica. It falls into the realm of Charlie figuring it out and divorcing her. They might have been trying to get custody of the kids or doing something else in the background that they don't need public right this second. I've heard stories about people saying, I'm so cold. I've heard stories of people saying that his parents were trying to get custody. Obviously, we don't have any proof. I don't have any proof of it. I haven't seen any proof of it, but I did hear that. And to what you're saying right here in this theory, you could be right in terms of maybe they knew he was going to divorce her. Maybe he was like, oh, I got to change end of life documents. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. Maybe they knew. Maybe he talked about it with them and said, hey, like there might be some time where you got to take care of the kids a little bit or you just mom and dad, I'm going through something. And I thought I was going to stay with my wife and I'm not, and I don't know what to do now. And I'm just going through this thing. And then, I've just figured out a bunch of things and I want to pull the company back and she doesn't want to, and she's angry about it. And there's just some other stuff going on. And, now we're done. Yeah. That could be the thing too. You never know. Never know. Anyway, here we'll check out the thing. But yeah, good theory, Steven. Definitely good theory. And we'll check out the super chats one more time. Make sure we're all good there. The last one. Wait, no, the second last one. My friend kept confusing George Farmer and Foreman. That's dating your friend there. Your friend is definitely older. That's not a 90s baby, your friend, for sure. Younger people don't even know who George Foreman is. Gangster farmer selling kitchen grills. That's so funny. That is so funny. All right, guys. Thank you guys so much. Oh, we're already past the 3 hours. Yeah, I got to get going, guys. But thank you guys so much for showing up, showing out. You guys are very, very, very much appreciated, and we will definitely be talking tomorrow. Again, Candace is off, so we'll figure out what we're gonna talk about, what we're gonna do. You know, there might be some things to touch on. Maybe we cover some Baron stuff. Maybe we cover some Ian stuff. Maybe we get into that AI panel that I've been telling you guys so much about, and we get into the characters within that AI panel, because I think there's some pretty wild characters there that need to be talked about. But we will see. But we will be back tomorrow, 10 a.m., 100%. Okay? 10 a.m., somewhere around the dot. All right, guys. See you tomorrow.